I'm Asian. We don't celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving.
You're Asian? What?
Well, who would have thought? Hold on, let me check. Yeah, still Asian.
All right, we are live. Hello, everyone.
Oh God! Why are we live? What?
Okay, I'm wearing pants. It's okay.
It's okay. Okay, we're all wearing pants. It's fine. It's fine. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I'm your host, Alex, but you can call me Senpai. And tonight I am joined by our czar of source material, John.
You know, I just realized that our intro for the WTF doesn't make sense because we don't normally talk about anime or anything Japan related.
That's true. I should come up with a unique intro for the WTFs, like I did with the monthly dumps, which always makes you laugh.
Put it on the list, Jamie.
Pop a squat and take a dump with us.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Also joined by a dude who always loves listening to John monologue. I do too. John gets on these rants, and boy, is it entertaining. But we got Shinoda with us too.
Wait, is that his actual title for this episode?
That's what he wrote.
You bastard!
You were while you were talking about lighting, I'm like, yo, this is a good fucking talk. I'm like, I love listening to John. I'm like, this is my nickname.
Yes, but hello, classy Lizzies. Welcome into this stream. Before we do get started tonight, I do want to remind everyone I'm going to cover up Shinoda while I talk about this. Bye, Shinoda. You can follow Anime Club After Dark on YouTube, Discord, Twitter, and more by clicking on the link down below in the description or pinned up above in the live chat. He took off his headphones when I did that.
I think it was backwards.
Was it? Oh, they were backwards. Okay. Hey, welcome back, Shinoda.
It fell off while I was putting on the hood.
Nice. So as we do with all of our WTF streams, we're going to start out with some questions that were asked on our Discord server from some of our followers. Let me pull it up here. So the first question we have, and I want to say we haven't had an opportunity to do a WTF for the last couple of months. I'm sorry about that. We've had some scheduling conflicts come up that were not easy to work around.
Yeah, one of us is literally in a war zone.
Yeah, and one of the members of the podcast is literally in a war zone. Pray for him.
And the other is constantly hunting for elk pussy.
Yeah.
Listen, it was only 3 weeks of hunting. Calm down.
Sure, buddy. Sure.
Put the B-Stars volumes down, John.
I'm gonna get my own Rui.
But the first question we're going to answer tonight comes from Finn's Pet Cat, aka Nyan, who streams with us a lot. He asked, "What is your favorite ecchi anime?"
High School DxD.
That seems like the easy answer, though.
Well, because all right, let me explain to some. I don't like ecchi anime very much. Like maybe when I was little. Mm-hmm. Like little babby starting off watching anime. I'm like, whoa, look at these giant anime titties. Right? I think that High School DxD, because the first ending is so good where they're on the stripper poles and shit, bro. And that song is so good. Oh man. Just like it's quality. That first season of High School DxD is fucking quality. I can't talk much about the latest seasons where I think they've changed studios like 3 times.
Yeah.
It's been so it's kind of like fallen off. I don't really care about the story, but damn it, are the designs in High School DxD really fucking good?
Has it really gone through that many studios though?
Yeah, it really has, if I remember right.
Studios, yeah.
Damn.
Redo of Healer is my favorite ecchi.
Wow.
I mean,
it definitely is.
I mean, I'm gonna put this on here so everyone can see it.
Damn, putting him on blast.
Putting him on blast right now.
Mine would have to be Monster Musume. It's because the monsters are on the outside and the wholesome is on the inside.
I can't fuck with that. You know why? Because there's a spider girl. Arachne? Fuck yeah, no, dude.
Fucking spiders.
Bro, she
don't get me
ties
wrong.
you up and has her way. It's great.
If there was an actual spider
That's
that was
great, but
that
she looks like a
big,
goddamn spider, bro. I'd be too freaked out.
bro, if there was a spider that was that big, I would just kill myself if it came at me. Like just put the
Australians be
gun in
like,
my
"It's
mouth,
just a
put it
normal
up,
spider."
and pull the trigger.
It doesn't matter how hot you make a spider. I'm not gonna fuck it.
Mine is borderline hentai, but Valkyrie Tribe Mermaid. Fuck off with that shit. That show sucked.
I've
Sucked.
seen that.
It came out like right when we started the podcast, like late 2015, I think. It was not good.
I'm surprised. You know, wait, Alex.
Fucking Tommy has been sending me pictures of the spider.
Oh my god, get out of here.
He's
Alex,
over
what
there.
is your favorite ecchi anime?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'm surprised neither of you said it, but interspecies reviewers.
I knew that was gonna be it.
Yeah.
I actually
listen.
thought about it. I was like, you know what? Interspecies reviewers is really good too. However, I don't think that as an anime, it's really good, but it changes so much from the source material that I'm just like, it's kind of its own thing. Where
True,
the
but I mean,
animators literally just was like, we're just gonna make straight up porn, but not porn.
the
Funny
question
porn.
was, what's your
was
favorite
porn
ecchi
light.
anime, not your favorite ecchi manga or light novel?
Yeah, but I think of High School DxD more than I think of interspecies reviewers.
When you say ecchi anime, that is the first thing that comes to my mind. Is just High School DxD.
Yeah, bro. When Koneko's sliding down that pole and that ED, whew, damn girl, you see what she do,
like,
dude? She sliding down, she do a backflip. Shit crazy.
Cray.
Again. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn,
John's like, that's core strength. I love that shit.
bro.
So for those who may not know, a couple of years ago when Interspecies Reviewers came out, we very nearly gave that anime of the year.
It was so close.
It was really close. In fact, if Great Pretender hadn't come out right near the end of the year, it would have easily been our anime of the year that year.
It's such an upset because it's like it's just porn.
But it's done
yeah,
so
but it was
well.
funny.
Rias is my ultimate waifu. You and like 800 million other people. Get in line.
Yeah, bro. It's
Don't
all
call
about
him
Kenny. What
basic.
the hell?
All right, so next question actually comes from Classy Ulysses, who's in the chat. I do want to point out, Classy Ulysses asked a bunch of these questions that we're going to answer tonight. And in fact, it's a good thing you're here because I have show and tell for one of your questions. I am not, in fact, going to pull my cock out, though.
Aw.
Later, though, for you in the DMs.
This is where we reveal our Chatterbait channel now.
Yeah. So next question from Class Ulysses. Do you think isekai manga / light novel anime adaptations will be replaced with manhwa reincarnation adaptations?
No.
Not only replaced, but I definitely there's going to be more and more manhwa adaptations.
I mean, so that's more of a question about the market. As long as people are because of shows like Mishoku Tensei, just like popping off and making and generating a lot of income, right? For the like the anime side. Yeah, it's a definite maybe because there is definitely a huge growth in Chinese and Korean like anime, just in general. Like the I believe someone commented or said something to us about a Chinese one.
Yes, I'm going to get to that later in the questions.
Yeah. So I think that it's definitely not going to replace it because there's still a lot of feudal ties with like the Koreans and the Japanese because you know the freaking World War II, and
It's
all the
vinegar and water, man.
Dude, it's bad. It's really bad.
With
a lot of
good reasoning.
yeah, for very good reasoning. But a lot of the people are still alive in the
Let me
industry.
tell you about Nanking.
Oh no, we're not getting there.
No. But I don't think it'll replace it per se because I'm looking at something like right now that's airing is a return fuck, what is it? Returners something is Matt, I don't remember the actual title of this. The guy's name is
adaptation.
It is a manhwa adaptation of a guy who reincarnates basically and like has to save the world. But now he has like future knowledge, so he knows how to save the world.
Oh, that's a manhwa, really? I'm watching it. Oh.
Are you watching it? Yeah.
I am watching it.
Yeah. Desmond is like the main character.
Yeah.
Returner's Magic, yeah.
Returner's
Returner's
Magic.
Magic. Yeah, should be special, I think. Oh yeah, I love reading the manhwa. But you know, the thing is, manhwa is very slow to tell its story. Like it's a traditional thing where it takes 100 chapters to even get to like a taste of the meat.
What is the point? You're not getting to it.
Yeah, it's over 300. I'm up to date on that one right now as well, but I definitely don't think it'll take over because the appeal of different types of like genres of isekai, like Chinese isekai or Korean isekai or Japanese isekai, it's different. A lot of Japanese isekai focuses a lot on power scaling, like I returned and now I'm super OP, and then there's like a bunch of world building or cooking or something interesting about the world that people like. Versus like Korean ones is more like I'm returning to the past to like change the future. That's a lot of their isekai type of stuff that they do. Or like they'll do Groundhog's Day where they keep dying and then returning, you know, like kind of like what Subaru does. Except
Is
better.
Groundhog Day it's not
Groundhog-
reincarnation, is it?
No, but I'm saying
No, it's
like
not.
it'll be a it's an isekai in the sense that they dive and they go back to the beginning. Like you've died
Time
and
loop.
you've it's like a time loop. So it's like that's not really isekai, but that's
I mean, a time loop is a type of story.
yeah, I don't really know. Because it's like it's a different world line that they come from. Like would you consider Ragnar Crimson, who it's airing right now, an isekai? It's like, well, he comes from the
I would
future.
not.
It's time traveling, really.
Yeah, it's time travel. It's not isekai. Isekai is its own thing.
But to put it into perspective,
yeah,
I don't think it would replace it. It definitely has its own place in it, but I don't think isekai is in Japanese isekai. It has any like extra room, you know?
yeah. I feel like also not just with reincarnation stories, because that's not all manhwa is. Obviously, there's all kinds of stories that are told with manhwa. It's just some of the more popular ones are just like isekai or reincarnation type stories. But we are seeing more and more adaptations of manhwa and Chinese manga, things of that nature. And we got Solo Leveling that's coming out was early next year. And I feel like yes.
That one's gonna that one's a complete story, and that one has a lot more action than like Returner's Magic.
But I feel like it's gonna be a big thing, like money wise, and that might open some more floodgates for manhwa.
I think it'll definitely
oh no, the floodgates already open. Like Tower of God, for example, when that came out, and,
that did.
You
know,
all right,
what was the one that Natai,
I have feelings of it.
What was the one Natai hated? Oh, God of High School. Natai hated that so much.
Why? Why did he hate
God
of High School?
Both of them are bad.
I think he hated it because it got too like convoluted.
Oh, bro, it gets way more convoluted. What are you talking about? Yeah, because Korean manhwa are always very convoluted. The stereotypical, like, if Japanese anime or Japanese media has isekai, then I'd say Korea manhwa has like 9th level wizards and like 1st level fighters or whatever the hell it is or whatever. It's always about that. And then like same thing for Chinese manhwa. They always have like this dude who reincarnates, but he's like the heavenly fist of like the 9 realms or whatever, but he reincarnates into a different world or some stupid shit. But they always do shit like it's just wushu shit. Wuxia.
But yeah, I feel like John's right. It's more of a marketing thing than anything. I don't think it'll ever be like fully replace it, but it could exist alongside it pretty evenly, I think.
I don't think it's going to take over like that. I do think it has its place, especially for the more quality ones. But I don't think it's going to get that big. I don't think the quality is high enough for any of them to get that good.
Until you see Solo Leveling, bro. You're going to eat your words.
I mean, maybe. Like, I've been told about it various times. Even my own brother.
I've literally been told by people, man, this thing will suck your dick when you watch it. Like, okay.
Now, to be realistic, to be brutally honest, I like Solo Leveling. I don't think it's like, I just think that the people who have read Solo Leveling are overhyping it. I don't think the anime is going to be that amazing.
See, that's what I'm thinking too. I think there's a lot of people out there that like it, but they're not being like super honest about it. It's like, yeah, you like it, but do you like it because it's just something that tickles your fancy, or do you like it because it's genuinely good?
Yeah, like in my opinion, the best manga into anime that has ever existed thus far has been and shall continue to be Chainsaw Man.
Okay, it's good, but I will take that and raise you 1K on, sir.
See, I didn't read K-On! Before I watched K-On!, so I don't know.
Imagine like K-On!, right, is like the story that they came up with, and then add like 500 times more actual story to it. That's the actual anime adaptation of K-On! It's like almost nothing like the manga because it adds so much to it.
Well, I'm talking about like so many people were hyping up Chainsaw Man, the anime.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, it lived up to it. It far exceeded the hype. In my
Fair enough.
opinion.
Fair enough. Like if a anime adaptation like exceeds your expectations that much, then yeah, it's a really good adaptation.
MC is such a Chad and badass. So yeah, I think he's really cool. Like I'm gonna really enjoy Solo Leveling because I've really enjoyed reading the manhwa and also the novel.
I am looking forward to giving it a shot because so many people seem to like it. All right, next question, also from Class Ulysses. What is your personal Mount Rushmore for anime? That's the
big four.
Oh.
Well, it's 5. There's 5 faces on Mount Rushmore.
Can you tell I've never been there?
Yeah.
Can you tell I don't care?
I mean, it depends on what you mean. Do you mean like anime characters, anime manga?
Just
I
like
think
your
overall
top 5.
series.
No, like your top 5.
I mean, if I had to pick a top 5 for anime, I'm gonna put. I gotta put Spice and Wolf on that list, or else what am I even doing? You know what? I'll go ahead and put one of the big 3 on there and say Naruto.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe this is some recency bias, but I'm gonna say Violet Evergarden. I got two more that I got to put on there. Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Cowboy Bebop. There's my Mount Rushmore.
It's a pretty good list.
Hmm.
I'd say for me, Code Geass. You know what's funny? Also Naruto.
Yeah, right?
I fucking love Naruto, dude. It's so good. I'd say Bebop. I'd also say Black Lagoon. And then for my 5th, I'd say Poco's Udon World because it's so goddamn cute. I love that show.
I think on a Mount Rushmore list like this, where you're choosing a top 5, you gotta allow yourself one guilty pleasure, right?
It's not even a guilty pleasure.
Actually, no, you're not guilty about it at all. You're just like, I fucking love this shit.
Literally, when Sentai was like, "Hey, we're releasing the Blu-ray," I could not buy it fast enough.
Your hand was hovering over that like buy until it just got now. Chinoda, do you
Vegas.
have a?
Mine is Inuyasha, Black Lagoon, Outlaw Star, and Trigun. Okay, that's a pretty good list too. Yeah.
Naruto, Yu-Gi-Oh, GX, DxD, and Oregairu, aka Snafu.
That's fair. I liked. See, I like all of these lists. Like all of these are not bad anime, other than like DxD in the later seasons. But again, I digress. It swaps studios. Things change. I get it.
Can we include movies in this list?
Yeah,
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Okay. Naruto, Konosuba, Hellsing Ultimate. Well, Hellsing overall. And Summer Wars.
Summer Wars, wow.
Summer Wars, yeah.
Was that your favorite Mamoru Hosoda movie?
It is my most rewatch anime movie of all time.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty surprising.
And you just recently got to watch Ghost in the Shell for the first time, the first movie.
Yep, literally 2 days ago.
I wanted to save it for the monthly dump that we're doing later this month.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right. My first experience of Ghost in the Shell was on the big screen.
On the big screen, you got to see it in a theater.
bro.
I'll save it for the monthly dump, which you guys
God.
should check out at a future date.
Yeah, later this month, as a matter of fact.
We'll finally release one.
Yeah, we'll finally. Again, it's been a couple months. I'm sorry.
It's been hard to schedule stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. The next question comes from New Vegas Savior. What is the best horror anime? We've talked about this a lot recently. I don't think there is a really good horror anime.
I haven't seen a horror anime. Well, do you count Monster as a horror anime?
It's definitely a thriller.
It's a psychological thriller.
Yeah, it's definitely
I don't really consider it a horror anime though. I don't know.
It's
What
got
about
some gruesome
Claymore?
Ooh.
I don't think Claymore. It's more action horror than. Well, it is horror though.
No, there's definite horror
I mean,
in there.
in that vein, I think we might put Berserk in that list then.
Berserk is definitely horror.
I mean,
Like,
you
it's
know
a
what?
journey of hope, sure, but it is very horror.
You know what? I don't know if you guys have watched it, but Meruko-chan. It came out a couple seasons ago, or like a year or two ago.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips from it.
So I remember when we did
Oh,
the preview.
the fucking lewd one, yeah.
Yeah,
I watched 2 episodes of it.
I read the manga. And
Oh,
it's
yeah?
actually pretty good. Like I thought it was just gonna be like superficial, like, oh, look at this cute girl and look at these horrifying monsters. But there's an actual story and stuff to Mariko-chan. And I'm just like, I'm actually kind of invested in this. This is actually pretty awesome.
Okay, he says he doesn't count Monster. So
Okay, he does-
Monster's
yeah.
out. Would you count Berserk? Because Berserk has some pretty horrific elements to it.
Terrifier 1 and 2 are great horror, I guess. You guess, Classy Ulysses? Claymore and Berserk, I sort of do, but they are more dark fantasy. Yeah,
definitely dark fantasy for sure.
I'm gonna go with recently because I'm just gonna go with Mariko-chan just because I actually think it's pretty good.
I guess if I had to pick one that I liked, and I'm using like in the very broad sense here, School Live, just because of the psychological horror aspect of it.
I'm gonna go with Hellgirl.
Okay.
I really like that series, and it genuinely almost always ends with people quite literally being sent to hell.
I gotta show this on screen.
Does Death Parade count as a horror anime?
Sword Art Online is my favorite horror. Good God. I mean, same. It's very horrific.
You can hate on SOA as much as you want, but SOA has done a lot for anime.
Oh, it absolutely has.
SOA? What is SOA?
SAO. Shows how much John actually gives a shit. He can't even
listen. I don't even remember the fucking. Just listen. I can. The fight scenes are cool. Okay, the songs are cool. That's about it. That's all I can say about it. It's kind of dumb though. Like I remember my buddy was watching SAO, and he got to the part where Kirito's like he's fighting like the PKers, and my buddy's just like, he only has 30k HP, motherfucker. My bear druid in WoW has like 60k. This guy, he only heals at 12% a second. This guy's a fucking scrub. I body him in PvP. I was like, dude, calm down.
Nice.
He took it so personally. Holy shit.
There you go, John. There's your hot take.
Kirito greater than guts. Hot take. That is certainly a hot take.
It's a take, that's for sure. I don't. It's burning. You're not cooking with that take.
That is definitely a hot take. I've never heard of this take before in my life.
But speaking of like staying with the whole horror element here, Classy Ulysses also wants to know if you got isekai into a horror movie, which horror movie would you want to go to? You keeping in mind you have no powers, like you're yourself.
Do I get to meet the main character of the horror movie?
I mean, if you're talking about the monster or the killer or whatever, I would assume.
I mean,
so.
if I was isekai'd into Evil Dead, do I get to be around Ash so that way I don't fucking die?
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
Because then that would be cool.
I like how Evil Dead started out as like this pet project from Sam Raimi, and it just kind of morphed into its own thing.
Bless Sam Raimi.
I know, right?
But
and Evil Dead 2 is literally well, I won't say literally, but pretty much a remake of the first one with better budget.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Evil Dead yet. I really need to.
How
that's
have you
good.
not seen Evil Dead?
There's so much I haven't seen, okay?
This dude only recently saw Ghost in the Shell for the first time. Come on.
God, how are you on an anime podcast? And I don't know what Evil Dead has anything to do with being on an anime podcast.
I don't know either.
I'm just not
But-
cultured. Let's go with that.
There you go.
Well, LOL, yes, but make some right choices that doesn't get yourself killed. Yeah, I mean, if I went to go into a horror movie, I think Evil Dead would be pretty cool. Just because, you know, if you're with Ash, then you'd probably be able to survive. More than likely be able to survive, depending on the situation and like what demonic entities are trying to fucking kill you, hunt and kill you.
Yeah. Evil Dead is a good choice. It's not one I would have immediately thought of. I'm trying to think, what would I want? I mean, my initial thought is Friday the 13th because Jason is a slow lumbering Hulk.
No, Michael Myers is and even because Jason Voorhees has like the magical properties of being Jason Voorhees, right? And you literally can't die. But Michael Myers is just a dude.
That's true. In a Halloween or in a Captain Kirk mask.
In a Captain Kirk mask, yeah. So I feel like Michael Myers, if you were in that world, as long as you weren't like part of the main cast of people being killed,
yeah,
you're not related to Michael Myers in any way, I think you'd be all right. Just don't be a cop or anything either.
You know, if I'm gonna be specific with Jason in Friday the 13th, I would say like maybe Friday the 13th Part 2 Jason, because back then he was just a dude. That was before he got like shocked by lightning and magically brought back to life as like this unkillable monster.
Classy Ulysses. Chucky for me.
Chucky?
Why would you want to be in Chucky? Like, oh Lord.
You want to be in Chucky? I don't think anyone wants to be in Chucky.
No, he wants, if he was isekai'd into a horror, he wants to be in the Chucky universe. And I'm like, I have a personal hate of Chucky because when I was younger, my father was like, hey, I know you're like 4 years old, but I really want to go see Chucky. So we're going to go watch it. And he
that's
brought me
lovely.
he brought me and my sister to go watch Chucky. You know, we're kids. We're literally babies. And we're watching this horror movie. And I swear to God, every time I walk downstairs, if they have little slits in them where you could like put scissors through and cut someone's fucking Achilles tendon like they do in that damn movie, I get so fucking paranoid. I'm like, someone's gonna fucking slip some scissors out and cut my fucking Achilles tendon.
Isn't childhood trauma grand?
Dude,
truly.
I hate Chucky so much because of that.
Do you have an answer for this, Chinoda?
I do not. I don't watch horror movies, so
okay. You know what?
really
Fair
wouldn't
enough.
have any.
All right, so here comes an exciting question because I actually, over to the side here, I have show and tell for you, Class Ulysses. Class Ulysses asks, why are manga in black and white instead of color like comics and manhwa? And why are manga volumes usually paperback instead of hardcover? I think the answer to this is pretty similar for both, and it's mostly cost.
Yeah.
But
it's like
I have
99% of the answer, honestly.
So like this is your standard like one volume of manga. This is the first volume of Naruto. You usually have anywhere between 6 and 7 chapters in each volume. This particular one has 7 chapters. But then you get things like these, which are the omnibus volumes. This is orange, which is broken into 2 omnibus volumes, which has the entire series just in 2 volumes. And in this, there are, I want to say 30 chapters in each book, I think. Oh, it doesn't have a table of contents. That's superb. Thank you. Okay, there's no table of contents. I think there's like 20, anywhere between 27 and 30 chapters in each of these. And then if you're lucky, if you're lucky and your manga gets really, really popular, right? It eventually gets re-released in an omnibus form that's in hardcover.
No.
Just like this. This is the JoJo's omnibus volumes that I have. This is for volume 1 of part 2. And this one has 18 chapters in it. This is back when JoJo's was a weekly manga for part 2. Yeah, and there's like, and you get this with light novels too. Like the standard light novel. This is first volume of Spice and Wolf that I have here. It's nice little beefy boy. I think there's 300 or something pages in this, or no, just over 225. Excuse me. But then again, if you're lucky and your light novel is popular enough, I guess, or the publisher just wants to do it, you get what they did with Overlord.
Dude,
which is also
so good
hardcover, and all the hardcovers of Overlord have
art.
great art on them.
By Sobin.
Yes, by Sobin, and also the a lot of the inserted art in the books is in color instead of black and white.
I also have a copy of Overlord at my desk.
Yeah,
I have all the current volumes upstairs still. I haven't moved that, but.
One thing I also wanted to point out is there's no like standard size for like light novels or manga, like the actual physical book sizes. So you get things like this, where like this is the Spice and Wolf, and then this is first volume of Konosuba.
I still have the postcard from Violet Evergarden. We went to anime.
I still have it too.
Yeah, I have it packed somewhere.
I also have Goblin Slayer cards. This is the book that I bought at Anime Expo, actually.
Nice. And also, just to kind of illustrate it even further, so this is the light novel for Kizumonogatari that was released by Vertical, and like it's also a pretty beefy boy, but it's tiny compared to the Konosuba one in terms of its physical size.
Oh wow!
So like, yeah, there's no standardization.
I did read the manga. It didn't save the manga. It didn't save the series at all. What are you talking about, Ida?
And then, you get your one-off things like this, which come in hardcover almost all the time.
Oh yeah, I did love Another.
This is Another, which this is like a 500-page actual novel. There's no illustrations in here. This is a straight-up novel, and they typically will do these first run in hardcover.
See, the Another novel is fine. The anime, I hate it.
The novel is great. The anime sucks.
Because the anime is just like a gore fest. It's just blood, guts.
John, you don't like umbrellas?
Oh God. No,
it's like watching it's like when you watch Umi Neko. That one is, I believe Umi Neko is probably made. When the Seagulls Cry is probably made by the same person who made When the Cicadas Cry.
I believe so, yes.
I would assume so. I have no idea.
Also, I brought this. This is I think the smallest in terms of physical size, the smallest omnibus manga release ever, and it's for Fooly Cooly.
Oh,
it's like this is it's the size of my hand.
Why is it so
tiny.
small?
The Fooly Cooly manga is not long in terms of chapter length, but like I don't know why they went for such a small physical size. Like it's the same physical size. It's actually it's even smaller than the Naruto manga.
What? That's so weird.
I don't get it.
Well,
also, again, I mean, almost for those who've never read it, the art is not great. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Oh, oof, ooh, yeah. What the hell happened there?
I mean, it's pretty much the same story, but the art is just not great.
Usually for comics, TPB for issues 1 through 6 or 1 through 12 is $15-$20. Hardcovers is about $20 to $30. Deluxe, omnibus, an absolute edition. What is an absolute edition? This is just like all of the above.
Anniversary edition or something.
It's the big dick version.
I will say, when you put out this is a criticism I do have of people that put out softcover omnibus versions. If you're going to do it, don't make them this fucking thick. Like, as this works for hardcover, as a softcover book, you get to the center and like you can't open it all the way.
Yeah, that seems like a terrible idea because I feel like I'd be ripping it in half, right?
Yeah, like, and these are super thick.
Just got to
So-
read at a like 30-degree angle only.
You do.
So that way
Like,
you don't
when you
break
get
the spine.
seriously, when you get to the middle here, like this is as far as you can open it without like bending the spine. So you gotta like read with your head tilted.
Keep it at a
That's not
30-degree angle. You're fine, bro.
It's just not good book design.
It's not. I really wish if they had done the orange omnibus like this, if they were gonna split it into only 2 volumes, I really wish they had made both hardcover. But it is what it is. Yeah, the biggest answer to your question, or it's not the only answer because there are other factors that go into it, but the biggest answer is cost. It's more cost effective to do first run manga in paperback versus hardcover, and it's just cheaper to do stuff, do art in black and white to reproduce it.
Absolute Edition is taller book in length and width, more appreciated. Oh, okay. So like the bigger Mega Chad, like this is so cool hardcover.
I have something that's like that. I wasn't thinking I was gonna have to get it though. Do 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 do. I'm back.
It's like, what are we supposed to do while you're gone, Alex? What the heck?
I don't know, man.
You should time that.
So this is what I picked this
what
up.
is that?
I picked this up at Anime Expo a few years ago. This is Jojo Valere,
The fuck is that?
which is kind of like what Classy Ulysses is talking about. It's huge.
Oh
It is a
lord!
very large book. And it's a bunch of collections of like Hirohiko Araki's art from over the years with JoJo's.
Oh, it's an art book.
It's essentially a giant art book, but it's got like colored versions of things that he originally did as sketches or black and whites.
It's cool.
It's got a ton of stuff in here. There's your boy, Gyro. I can't wait for part 7, man.
It comes with a slipcase. What's a
Oh.
slipcase?
Yeah, that's like the closest thing that I have to something that what he's talking about there.
You just have a random piece of paper in there. What the fuck?
It came with it. I guess it's to protect the ink. I don't know, but it's on both sides.
Huh.
I mean, it also came with this to put over top of the book.
My boy Gyro.
Gyro. Yeah. And that was not cheap. The Jojo Valere was nearly $200.
Jesus.
But I think they only made 400 or 500 of them. So
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
so
that's
it's
a
true
collector's
limited
thing, yeah.
edition.
yeah.
Fucking nerds, man, with your limited run edition like shit. What the hell?
I mean, I'll give you some more.
Alex, no, calm down. Next
Alex,
question.
quit flexing just because you have nothing better to do with your life. We
No.
get it. You're a giant nerd.
All right,
No, I must flex the fact I have the
Oh my
collector's
God.
edition K-On! Blu-ray set. It's great, and it looks like a roadie box. It looks like a roadie set.
All right, we're kicking Alex off the podcast now.
I have
much of
too
a
much
fucking
free
nerd.
time.
Too much money.
Yeah. All right, so I hope that answers your question. It's mostly about cost.
I'm moving on to the next question. Another question by Classy Ulysses. What's your dream isekai anime that you want a studio to make? No remakes or other remasters, but a new concept for an isekai.
I mean,
good question.
the one where America gets isekai'd into like some fantasy world that was funny as fuck. So that
I feel like if all of America got isekai'd like all at once into a fantasy world with no guns, we'd just take over. Especially if we found oil. Like it'd be over for them.
my
It would be
God.
over
I don't know how effective would guns be against people who have
with
magic.
magic.
Yeah.
We'd find a way.
Well, yeah.
That's a good
Obviously, if I
question.
snipe
That's
you
a
from
good
like
question.
a mile away, you're not going to be able to freaking put up a protective barrier in time for me to kill you. Like you're not going to even hear the bullet before it hits you.
Yeah. I mean, it's been asked like, what if someone went to Hogwarts with a gun? There's no school shootings at Hogwarts, John.
They have literal death spells where they can just be like zap, and then you just like.
I'm trying to think what a dream isekai for me would be. No remake. I can't do a remake or a remaster in a truly new concept. So I'm assuming it also can't be an adaptation of an already existing story.
I can say this. I don't read isekai manga, at least any like new stuff, so I can't answer this question.
Fuck that. I want to see an isekai where instead of the advanced people go into like a less advanced society, the other way around. We isekai into the like in a super major advanced society.
So like maybe someone from like, I don't know, the like 1000 AD gets isekai'd into like modern times.
I mean, not modern times, but like a society that's that far ahead advanced.
Okay, so like 1,000 or 2,000 years more advanced than they are.
Because I think it'd be pretty fucking bitching to reincarnate into a world where it's like everything's run by androids and shit. That's whatever. Like,
so it's not an isekai, but they did something similar for one of the Star Trek movies. So in Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home,
now, like
no. In Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, they actually bring someone from the 1980s into the 23rd century.
How funny was it?
I mean, the whole movie is pretty funny because it's the only Star Trek movie that's almost exclusively supposed to be like, haha, funny. We're all in the past and we don't understand how it works. But she's like a marine biologist and they just like, she says, I want to come with you. And they're like, oh, fuck it, timeline be damned. Let's go.
Oh, is that the whale movie?
Yes, it is the Star Trek 4, the one with the whales. That's what everyone calls it.
Even I know about it and I haven't watched Star Trek.
I'm so confused.
The whole movie is predicated on this probe arrives at Earth because it wants to talk to whales, but humpback whales are extinct, and that's what they want to talk to.
It's wild. It was a whole thing. It was a whole movie.
Does bullet block magic? That's yeah. I don't know. Does it?
It can. Magic is really versatile, especially if it's a soft magic system. Then yes. If it's a hard magic system, they have to modify spells or have a specific spells for it. It basically it depends on the magic system, but most of the time, there is a thing of on either system. Yes, it can block projectiles.
Oh, but how strong of a projectile?
He knows.
It doesn't matter the strength normally. Yeah,
it all depends. So, like with a magic shield system, right? It's like most magic shield systems go like two routes. One is we block magic with just the ability of magic, right? It rejects other magics, which is like, well, a bullet's not magic, so you can get fucking swung at, so it's fine. The other one is like it places a physical barrier, but it's like, all right, if it's a physical barrier that can stop punches and slashes and shit, then there is a tensile strength to that needs to be tested. How strong is the magic weave that we could punch through?
Like, okay, so yeah, it does depend on that as well. Minutia, basically.
Because because I'm thinking of physics here. If you were to have a magic shield system that like I can literally block bullets or I can block boulders and shit like that, then you should be able to survive a fall. If you fall to your death, you should be able to put on a magic shield and you wouldn't take any damage, right? But most of the time that doesn't happen because it's like, oh, you'll die from the gravity and this and that. And it's like, well, no, you wouldn't, because according to you, your magic shield is supposed to be able to negate that impact. Because again, there's still force, right, that acts in the world. It's just that in most magic world systems, they have real world physics and stuff with just the addition of a magic atom, the magic cools, right? The magic, the mana and shit like that kind of act as a fuel source that can either be used to disperse or dispel or to be forced to do stuff. So I feel like bullets is way faster than magic. I mean, it depends on the magic, right?
Yeah.
Like if I use magic like light magic, it's as fast as light. There's no gun that's faster than the speed of light.
It also depends on how fast the caster of said magic is going to be too, right?
And
if they can't cast the magic fast enough, they're going to get hit.
And it
But
doesn't
my
call
main
into
point is-
question if it's a passive spell that you have a barrier up always. You don't need to
Yeah.
cast it. A lot of nuance, minutia. It just depends on the system. It's way too broad to talk about.
Look at us nerding out about magic and fantasy.
Bro, I love this shit. I grew up on it.
Oh
Of course.
man.
I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I'm kind of with John. Maybe an isekai where it's like a less advanced civilization going to a much more advanced civilization would be really kind of fun to watch.
I did read a couple paragraphs from Summoning America. That's why I brought up the whole. I think it'd be funny if America got isekai'd, because I just thought the premise itself was hilarious.
All right, so we'll go on to the final question, which John kind of brought up a little bit of it earlier. Comes from A4 Happy 20. Also left us a really nice note in our Discord server about how much they like the podcast. So thank you very much for that.
We like you too.
Have you watched? I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation. Wushan Wujing. Close enough. Fog Hill of 5 Elements. It's a Chinese anime. The fight animations are very well done. Some of the best I've seen recently. Better than Demon Slayer, in my opinion. That's some high praise. The background art is also fantastic. I have not
either, but I definitely want to check it out if it's action, because a lot of Chinese like manhwa and like just novels and stuff are wushu or like wuxia. It's like the it's like fucking fighting. It's just straight up like kung fu fighting.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Yeah.
What?
That's why literally there's a website called wuxia like novels. I think that's what novel up wuxia novels. It just has a bunch of fighting like novels on there that you can read.
Okay. I'm gonna assume Shinoda, you haven't seen it either.
Well, see, the thing is, it's a Chinese anime, so I never even heard of it.
Okay.
But
I thought he was really about to surprise us there.
Yeah, it's pretty high praise, so I'm willing to at least check it out. I'll report to you what I think. I'll check it out, see what I think of it.
Saying that like the action scenes and the fight animations are better than Demon Slayer, that's a high bar.
Yeah, that's an extremely high bar. Demon Slayer might be crap plot-wise, but everything else, music and animation, it's up there. So to say something's on level, it's high praise.
Yeah.
I'm watching the trailer for it right now.
Oh, you are? Does it look good?
John, put it on screen. I want to see it.
Wow, we can't. We'll probably get DMCA'd.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm sure it's got music in it.
I think it's pretty cool.
Does it look good?
Yeah, it's pretty stylized. It's got
I'm curious now. I'm gonna go check it out. Let's see, what the hell is this called?
I don't know how to describe that. Like, you know, like the ancient Japanese paintings of like the fucking in the 1400s, like that type of art style.
Yeah.
It's got that type of art style to it.
Okay. All right.
I've heard a Chinese manhwa that's over 1,000 chapters. Manhua.
But no, I haven't watched it, but I will say if it's getting this kind of praise from all of you, I'll definitely check it out.
It's 3 episodes. It's an ONA series.
Oh, so it's quick watch.
Yep. 26 minutes per episode. So yeah, it's like
so you can all watch it within like just over an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, I might actually check it out then.
The first thing I have to say about this donghua is that it's criminally underrated. I personally think that. I'm sorry, I'm reading reviews.
Oh, I thought he was like, I've watched all of it on like 800 plus speed. Give you my immediate review. All right, so that's all the questions we have for this month's WTF. And actually, it's been.
Isn't there like one more question?
Is there? That's all that are on the list.
Oh.
Unless I skipped over. Did I skip over one?
Oh no, that was the final question. Never mind. I thought I saw extra one.
I have skipped over questions before because I'm mentally deficient. But So yeah,
Yeah.
that
What two genres that shouldn't be together should go with each other?
did I miss one on the Discord
You
server?
did from
Oh
Vegas.
shit! I'm
This
sorry.
guy.
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
What two genres that shouldn't be together should go with each other? For example, mecha fantasy from New Vegas.
Okay.
Mashing of two entirely different genres together to make one really weird thing. I think mecha fantasy is a really good one because well, it just came out like a year or two ago. What the fuck was it called? It was a mecha fantasy one that I thought was pretty cool. Oh my god, I don't remember. It was about the guy who like reincarnates and he's a younger kid. His name is like Lloyd or Log or something.
Log.
I did. The anime was like mid tier at best, but I just like the aspect of mecha fantasy.
How much do your parents have to hate you to name you Log?
It's supposed to be a fantasy world, but yeah, I think like mecha fantasy is really cool.
Ecchi horror. Okay.
So then you would love Mirko-chan.
Okay, I just watched the trailer. That was I actually want to check that out now. It's interesting.
All right.
What, the Fog of Five Hill Elements or whatever?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I know, right?
That was actually kind of like,
yeah. I'm gonna probably check it out. It seems.
And I
cool.
saw Sunraku's in there too.
Sunraku's in there.
You saw him, right? The blue bird.
yeah, of course.
Oh, I got one. So it's horrible when it's done wrong, but when it's done well, it's fantastic. Sci-fi and comedy.
So like Space Dandy.
I think Space Dandy.
That's literally Space Dandy.
Or Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. Yeah, those are two genres that I think that you wouldn't think would go well together, and half the time they don't. But when they get the writing right, it's pretty good stuff. One of my favorite sci-fi comedies ever is Galaxy Quest. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Two genres that normally don't go together, right? That was a question.
Yeah, that can go together well.
That can go together well?
Yeah.
Just two that don't normally get put together.
Oh, don't normally get put together.
Sci-fi adventure?
That's Star Wars.
Yeah, that's...
I just, like, I see a lot of fantasy adventure, right?
Yeah.
So I just thought, like, well, what's the opposite of, fantasy, sci-fi?
Yeah.
So, I think it'd be cool to exploit. Well, isn't that just like Cyberpunk? Never mind.
I wouldn't call Cyberpunk an adventure. Certainly a story, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is actually
really
tough.
racking his brain for that.
Yeah, I can see the smoke coming out of the top of his head right now. He is really trying to come up with an answer to this question.
I want to see a Josei mecha.
Josei mecha. Okay.
Then do I have a recommendation for you?
Do you actually?
There was one that released like a year ago. I don't remember the name, but superheroes and horror. Okay, that one. I don't.
Isn't that just The Boys?
Yeah, isn't that just The Boys?
Because that world that they live in does seem like a horror universe.
Well, yeah, superheroes who actually have an ego and aren't actually altruistic. That would be an absolute horror.
Yeah, that would be an absolute horror show, the likes of which has never been seen. I don't know. I think those are all good answers, though, that we've come up with. So now I've gone through all the questions.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to some of the stuff that we want to talk about tonight. Ghost Rider and Blade. Oh, is he giving examples? Oh,
yeah, that
okay.
would be. Yeah.
So, okay.
Ghost Rider, I don't know. I don't know. That doesn't really seem as much horror. Like, I think Spawn would be more horror than like Ghost Rider, in my opinion. But I don't read the comics.
Spawn is pretty good though.
Spawn is amazing. Oh my god.
So
Ghost Rider definitely has horror elements in there.
Yeah, I would say there's. I wouldn't call it a horror overall though, but it's got horror elements to it. All right, so let's actually get into what we want to talk about tonight. And I'm going to start it off with shitty companies being shitty.
Of course, always.
Although this is some good news. Very recently, in fact, was it 2 days ago, the SAG-AFTRA strike finally ended after almost 6 months. A little over 6 months.
Union power, baby. Union power. Let's go.
And as far as I can tell, I didn't dig into it super deep. And I don't think the actual contract has been like publicly posted anywhere yet. They got almost everything they were asking for. There was like one or two minor things that they didn't get. But they got like 99% of everything they were asking for, which I think is great, honestly.
Yeah, it's a pretty good thing.
I'm glad that they stuck it out too, because there was probably a lot of pressure, especially by the studios, for them to just say, let's just get back to work. We'll kick this can down the road. We'll talk about it later. It's like, no, they stuck to their guns. And I'm like, good for it. The biggest thing that they got, and I think the thing they were fighting the hardest for, was protections against AI. And that was one thing they got everything they were asking for.
No, seriously, we are at a turning point in our world civilization with AI. And it was incredibly important for even in this industry that you could say doesn't matter so much, but at the same time is accumulation of human effort, the entertainment industry. It being affected by AI in such a scale, and if we allowed corporations and capitalism overall to let AI take over such human aspects, would have been beyond disastrous, and it would prove to be such a mistake down the line, and it would take so many years to recover from such a mistake.
I think the biggest issue that they were was like the non-consent thing, like, recreating their voices and their likeness without consent. So like, I guess now there's going to be clauses in actors' contracts regarding whether they consent to have their voices, their likeness, everything about them being used for like AI models. And if maybe there's actors out there that don't care, they consent to it. They can consent to it in their contracts now, and I think that's a good thing. You put the control. Excuse me. You put the control back in the hands of the actors themselves instead of the studios that will 100%, if not outright, like from the beginning, will eventually misuse it. So I think it's good that it's in the actors' hands now. Same with the writer's strike, which also ended last month. I don't remember what day. Yes, Class E, the contract is for 3 years. The collective bargaining agreement is for 3 years. So we may have to go through all this again in 3 years' time, but I guess we'll see.
I have nothing to really say other than go unions. As a union worker myself, I think that collective bargaining is the only way to like withholding our manpower and stuff to these corporations and companies are the only way to make our demands met. Like I'm part of a union that hasn't been able to do a contract update in like 10 years. And I know how bad it is because of that. Like if you let a company decide for you, instead of being able to collectively bargain every 3 years, it's bad. It's real bad.
Yeah. And there are like there's no like standard union contract, is there? Like it can be 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years. It's just whatever gets agreed to, right?
Yeah, and it's like long-standing contracts are just bad. Again, with my personal experience of the union that I work for currently, it's just not a good idea.
Well, some long-standing contracts are bad, but some of them are good. The person who signed the lease on the Dublin Brewery for Guinness signed a 999-year lease.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And for the same price that it was originally bought for in like the 1700s.
Does that include inflation or
no? It does not. Oh. So yeah, long-term contracts like that can work out well for you. But yeah, I think it's probably a good thing that it's 3 years. like I said, there's nothing stopping the exact same thing that happened this year from happening again in 3 years. Because studios would be like, nah, you don't need anything else. I don't know for sure yet, because like I said, I haven't read the actual collective bargaining agreement, but I think one thing they didn't get was they were asking for more compensation for stunt actors. And I think that's one thing they didn't get, which is kind of a shame, because stunt actors really are the unsung heroes of Hollywood.
Like, oh, yeah.
They get their name in credits, but there's no, like, in the Oscars, and I don't know why in the Oscars for years, forever, there's never been a best stunt actor category for the awards given out. Like, why?
Because stunt actors are they get paid not nearly enough to do what they have to do. They literally risk life and limb for their job every day.
Now, they didn't get better. I don't think they got better compensation, but one thing that was achieved across the board was better healthcare. So, I mean, the stunt actors are getting better quality healthcare now, so that's good.
It's incredibly good, but still, I don't think it's enough. I think they deserve more still.
Yeah, I feel like, like stunt actors are definitely, like I said, the unsung heroes of Hollywood. Like, these actors that you love, most of them can't do their own stunts. They might be good actors, but they're not great physical actors.
Didn't Tom Cruise, when he was doing Mission Impossible, like, he volunteered to hang out of the airplane when they were shooting that scene?
Yes.
Yep.
That was actually him. Like, no stunt.
That's actually he does like 98% of all of the stunts you see him do.
Like the last Mission Impossible, he jumped off a cliff multiple times on a motorcycle.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it was actually a really cool scene.
Healthcare would be nice. Yes, it would be nice. Warner Brothers canned another movie, but this time the movie is already done and doing test screenings before getting axed. Wow. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Coyote versus Acme got axed after the movie is already finished and they got test screenings, and they're like, we're not putting it out.
I'm genuinely wondering how bad it was.
Was it that bad? Was it just because it was that bad?
It has to be.
I don't know, because there's a studio trick. So if you ever wonder why studios will sometimes just pump out movies that, like, everyone universally agrees are shit, it's for a tax write-off.
Oh, the tax write-offs.
Because you can write off a loss that's that big.
Which is
so I don't
bullshit,
know. Maybe that's what's going on with Warner Brothers. Maybe they made this movie and tried to make it as bad as possible so they could write it off. I don't know. But
I'm sure someone will leak it eventually.
Oh, I'm sure. From what I was looking at, it was positive. Then I don't understand. Like, usually if it's for a tax write-off, it's for a pretty terrible movie. So I don't know. It was 30 million to make the movie, and they're just gonna write it off like that? Jesus.
30 million is literal pennies to them.
But I mean, for that much money, why not just release it like direct to video or on a streaming service or something? You don't even have to put it in theaters.
Because then you have to pay people.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because if you put it in theaters, you put it on a streaming service, someone's got to get paid. The actors, the voice actors, whatever, got to get paid. I will say, I do hope that something good that could come out of this is I hope that there is now renewed push within the Animation Guild to do something like this, because boy, do animators and voice actors not have anywhere near the protection that regular actors and writers and people of that nature do in Hollywood.
I mean, they really should strike while the iron is hot.
I was like really shocked to find out during all of this that writers for animation aren't actually part of the Writers Guild. If you write for animation, you're part of the Animators Guild.
What?
Which makes no sense.
Which makes absolutely... Why doesn't the Writers Guild let animation writers in? I don't know.
That's really
nepotism.
Weird.
I don't know if it's just a tradition thing or what, but apparently like, and I only found out about this a couple months ago, that if you are a writer in an animated like project, you're part of the Animation Guild, not the Writers Guild, which makes no sense. Writers are writers. It doesn't matter what you're writing for.
I mean, maybe because animation has been seen as like a kid thing for so long, and it's only in the recent like 10 years that animation has really grown for outside of just for kids.
That's the only thing I can really think as to why they don't like integrate writers for animation into the Writers Guild. That and Hollywood does have a history of just seeing animation as a kids thing. Look at all the stuff that gets nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. It's all Disney movies or it's all like kid stuff.
Yeah.
From what I'm is positive, it's a tax write-off, $30 million for the movie, $30 million of $180 million. Wow, it's $180 million to make the movie. Okay. WB can pay 30 back to the government. That's if WB is making good money. I mean, I don't think that a lot of studios have been making good money over the last couple of months.
I don't think we've been making any money, which is why we had the strikes.
Yeah. And then another thing that really like baffled me is how little like streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Max were paying like foreign actors and companies that were making like Squid Game, for example. It was a massive hit for Netflix. Was it Netflix that it was on?
Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah.
The people that were on it got almost no residuals whatsoever. Even like the main characters, like the actors that played the main characters, almost nothing. And like you look at something like Stranger Things, for example, which is also on Netflix. Like the people the actors who are playing the main characters in that got pretty decent residuals, but of course it's an American production.
Yeah.
It's because if you actually start looking at Netflix underneath their bullshit, they're actually a pretty bad company.
I mean, it's still a Hollywood company.
Well, for Netflix, ever since they went public, I don't think they've ever like made money, right? Isn't that what the report said?
I wouldn't be surprised about that if they have never turned a profit.
Supposedly.
Were they making a profit before they went public?
I have no idea.
Interesting question. I don't know the answer to. But no, I just wanted to talk about the strike is over. I'm glad that the actors held out and stood strong and got almost everything they were asking for. Like I said, it's about 99% of everything they were asking for they got. Out of the streaming services, Netflix is the only one making money. That's something else. Like Netflix used to be the king. Netflix used to be the king, right? And then like you had all the movies and stuff, and then of course you had some like original stuff that they were making that was on Netflix. And then you also had a bunch of series.
That Disney was like destroying everything because they also own like Hulu, ESPN.
They owned most of Hulu until very recently.
Oh, did they sell it off?
No, they bought the rest of it. So Comcast owned like half of it and Disney owned half.
Oh. Okay.
But Disney bought the bit that they didn't own from Comcast for like $8 billion something, $8.5 billion.
Oh my god!
So now they own it like outright, and they're going to merge Disney Plus and Hulu into a single.
Disney second or third. That's insane.
But
I thought Disney would be king because of how much reach they have.
The thing is, like when Netflix used to be like one of the only games in town, you had like Netflix and Hulu, and that was pretty much it. It was great. Because almost everything you could think of was on Netflix. You could either get it on the streaming service or you get the DVD or Blu-ray emailed to or mailed to your house.
Yeah.
But now like all these companies have their own streaming services now, and it's like nothing's on Netflix anymore.
Yeah. Because I remember Netflix was, if you wanted to watch movies, you go to Netflix. If you want to watch TV, you go to Hulu.
Yeah. Which was a great, I mean, can you say it was kind of a monopoly? Yeah, but it worked.
It was so incredibly convenient for us.
I hate that the internet is just turning back into cable TV.
It literally is.
Netflix stopped their password sharing, so users have to pay for their membership. Yeah, and then everyone's like, I'm not going to use Netflix. And then like 2 months later, it was like, we're making more money than ever before. It's like, yeah, because all these people that said, I'm never using Netflix again, turned around and bought a Netflix account. It's the same thing. All these people that say, I'm never buying anything from this company again. And they're like a week later, it's like, dude, you're buying
Forks over more money. Yeah.
All I'll say is yo ho ho.
We heard him.
Hopefully you pay more, Shinoda, because it's your fucking turn.
Are you okay, Shinoda?
Yeah,
he's got to talk now. Now he's conveniently coughing.
Really didn't have too much to say. I went and watched the Marvels today. I was expecting it to be kind of bad to pretty bad.
What is Marvels?
The
It's
newest
Disney's
MCU
new
film.
MCU shit.
Oh, dude, after Endgame, I fell off. I don't watch a
Yeah.
Disney movie.
No, I don't blame you
anymore.
at all.
You're not the only one that fell off. The whole thing just fell off the face of the earth.
No, that's
I
not
would
true.
disagree.
The last one I watched was Spider-Man.
Classy.
I'm so sorry.
You have to watch the Marvels.
I didn't have to. I chose to. Okay.
Do you know what's
Even
shit about this
worse.
though? Is that I saw the trailer. I haven't seen the movie. I have no intention of watching this piece of shit. In the trailer,
calm down.
In the trailer, though, they use the characters from like the Avengers. It's because like they know these new characters aren't going to sell worth a shit.
So I actually watched it, unlike Alex. I was expecting it to be
3.
super bad. It wasn't. I actually somewhat enjoyed it. It wasn't like the greatest movie ever or anything, but I pleasantly had a decent time with it. So I was actually quite surprised by that. I do think people should be a little bit more open-minded for things like this and actually give things a chance. Criticize it afterwards.
I think Marvel
Absolutely.
should take a long deserved break, like of 10 to 15 years, and then
Yeah,
come
like
back.
Marvel Studios should calm down instead of
Just-
like, well, no, they're owned by Disney now, so they got to keep printing money.
Yeah, they have to keep.
It's like
printing money.
Lucasfilm.
It's contract obligated.
Yeah, it's literally written in blood right there.
What was it? George Lucas said, it's like, so yeah, they sold Star Wars to the white slavers at Disney. It's like, God damn.
Marvel is going downhill while DC is rising up.
Really?
Wow.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
because
that's,
I don't watch a lot of DC. Like the last thing I remember about DC was Black Adam came out, and apparently the movie was super bad, and The Rock couldn't take the criticism.
Hmm.
And he's fallen off the good graces of the internet. The internet doesn't like The Rock anymore. He's no longer that wholesome Islander dude who used to do wrestling. No, Chinoda. The Marvels is woke and diverse. Some user on the
Actually, I have seen something similar like that. I'm not even gonna lie.
Isn't that what the whole new South Park thing is about? It's about Kathleen Kennedy and like Disney, isn't it?
Yeah. It's making fun of like.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen clips of it. It's like it just takes a shit all over Kathleen Kennedy. Listen, Shinoda, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you had fun.
I have no intention.
I can't believe you would spend money to do that.
Speaking, come on, yo ho, where was that spirit now?
It was a matinee showing, so it's not even the full price.
Oh, okay, so you gave them like half price. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to watch movies like almost every week. Actually, no, I used to watch one movie every week, if not 2 movies every week, because I had nothing better to do with my life. and now I barely go to watch movies at all. Like maybe twice or 3 times a year, I'll actually go watch a movie.
Oh wow!
Like the last movie I watched was Barbie and Oppenheimer.
On the same day, you did Barbenheimer.
I did Barbenheimer, and that was nuts. It was like 12 hours of like, we got lunch, saw the first movie, then we got dinner, we went back and saw the second movie. It was like 12 hours. It was like, geez, this is a super long date night.
Speaking of that, and we were yelling at Natai about this last night while we were doing our recording for the episode that's coming out in a couple weeks. The new Martin Scorsese movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, which is, I think it's still out in theaters right now, at least as of the time of recording this. It's like a 3.5 hour long movie. I think it's actually a little bit longer than 3.5 hours. There's no intermission in it, but some of the theaters that were playing it were actually adding their own intermissions in, and now they're suing the theaters that are doing that. Like,
what?
Why? You're literally suing your best customers for going pee.
I don't understand. So the studio is suing the theaters? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, because they're saying it's a breach of artistic integrity or some shit. It's like, no, inserting an intermission without actually cutting anything out of the movie is not usurping your artistic integrity. It's allowing people to take a fucking piss.
For real.
I can kind of
need to go
understand
pee.
why
I
they
can't
felt like
wait.
that. But yeah, like I would appreciate it if I went to go take a piss. I didn't miss out on the movie. I would rather that than me have to go take a piss. Or I would rather that than me having to sit there for 3.5 hours going, oh God, I need to take a piss.
I know, right? Like, and the tie is like the complete opposite of this. He thinks that if you put an intermission in a movie in any way, whether it's designed to have an intermission or not, it's like the worst thing ever. And I'm like, dude, just go take a piss, go stretch your legs, come right back in 10 minutes.
I mean, I would appreciate having like breaks every hour where I'm like, go take a potty break, go smoke a cigarette, go refill my soda, go get it. I do appreciate those things.
Yeah.
Which is why I would recommend just watching things at home.
Exactly. Because then you can pause it whenever you need to.
But I do understand that at least for like, I don't have good eyesight. I don't have like, I can't do 3D, like real max 3D shit. It doesn't work for me. It just makes me like, it just looks the same. I don't see any difference. Like I don't see the fucking stupid 3D shit. It's just a waste of money. So for me, I'm like, watching it at home is no different than watching it in a theater because I always watch it 2D.
There's a reason why we got popcorn buckets to take a piss and don't piss on the
bro,
popcorn
bro,
buckets.
Your popcorn buckets.
What the fuck?
You can get a refill on your popcorn before you leave, so you get free pop or more popcorn and more drinks.
Most theaters do give you one free refill on your popcorn while you're there. Yeah.
Well, is it a free refill when I paid fucking $20 for this popcorn? I don't think so.
True.
They owe me that. This is owed to me. Give me your fucking $2-3 worth of popcorn.
Not for Cinemark. That's a shame. That's a shame.
There's only one Cinemark theater that is near me that sometimes I do go to because they have really cheap movie tickets on Tuesdays. Like if you go on Tuesdays, it's like $5.
They have a Tuesday special thing.
Yeah, because it's like it's their slowest day. So if you go for Tuesday for like a early showing, like noon or something, like before I think 3 p.m. It's like $5. And I'm like, oh, fuck. It's so you can watch any movie you want for $5. That's really cheap.
Damn.
No, that's great.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I enjoy watching movies in theaters because I like the big screen. I like the surround sound. I like it all. I don't like it when people take their little toddler ass kids to an R-rated movie and wonder why they're crying. But
thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Be funny if he just like appeared right next to you. He's like, what?
I don't have tolerance for that shit anymore, right?
Yeah.
I give it 5 to 10 minutes. If they haven't quieted down or taken them out by then, I'm like, yo, shut up.
Hire a babysitter or put a rubber on. It's pretty easy.
I remember I almost got in a fist fight with someone at the movie theater once.
Why?
John, let's go.
Because we were watching a comedy movie and I was laughing a lot because it was real fucking funny.
Yeah,
and
it's a comedy movie.
This dude, freaking with his girlfriend or whatever, like fronts me, he's like, "Can you please stop laughing so much?" I'm like, "The fuck? It's a fucking funny movie. What am I not? Am I like I'm not supposed to laugh?" What the fuck?
It'd be different if you were laughing at like a not fun. Like if you went to see like All Quiet on the Western Front and you were laughing your ass off, I could see.
No, it was a rom-com, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" I think the dude was just trying to front for his girl. Maybe they're on a date. I really should have beat his ass, but whatever.
I remember I lost one of my friendships over watching Norbit in theaters.
Oh
What the
my!
fuck is Norbit?
Is that an Eddie Murphy movie?
Yeah.
Is that the one where he's hella fat?
No, his wife was hella fat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And apparently I laughed my ass off. I don't even remember laughing my ass off like that. I just laughed general. It was a comedy movie. But apparently to my friend, I was dying laughing and it was embarrassing. I'm just like, it's a fucking comedy. The fuck you want?
Yeah, like, what? Am I not supposed to fucking laugh at a funny movie? I don't get it.
Is it really bad though when you are watching a movie with someone, whether you're in a theater or not, and you laugh at a part you shouldn't laugh at?
Oh
if I
no,
think a part
that's
is funny, I'm gonna laugh, right?
yeah.
Like it doesn't fucking matter. If you got a problem with that, if you're one of the types that you have to watch a show to know when to laugh, like you need the canned laugh track to let you know
Yeah.
when to laugh, brother. I got to tell you, man, you need to learn some hobbies, get a personality.
Also, this.
Yes, that.
Oh yeah,
I will stink eye the shit out of a mother.
Oh no, I fucking went up
do
to
that.
a kid that was texting and I said, "You either put that shit away or I'm fucking smashing it."
I
And he
now
put it away
now
When was this, John?
I will say
a while
now,
ago.
for me, I usually just put my phone on silent or vibrate. Just slip it in my pocket once the movie starts, and I don't look at it again until the movie's over.
Yeah, seriously, it's not hard. It really isn't. I literally set my phone up to have a theater mode, so when I sit down to watch the movie, I put it in theater mode, put it away. Don't worry about it until.
Nah, it was a young kid that was just scrolling through like Instagram and shit. Like during the movie because they were bored. I'm like, why the fuck are you here if you're bored, right?
Yeah.
And these motherfuckers, one, they don't got dark mode enabled because they're fucking assholes.
Oh god.
Right? And two, their screen phone was on maximum goddamn brightness. And I'm sitting here in the middle. This
Like a
dude
collapsed
is in the
sun
fucking front
just
right.
shining
I
him
can
in the
fucking
face.
see it. Whenever he flipped open his phone, I would just like get blinded by the goddamn light. So of course, no one else wanted to say something. So after like 5 minutes of this shit, I said, "No, I'm saying something. Fuck this."
Yeah,
Like, what's he gonna do? Like, I may be a little ghetto because I'm not afraid to fight people.
a little.
Old man shakes his fist at Clouden. Was this a young person?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a high school kid.
See, here's the thing. He was confused because the movie screen did not have Subway Surfers playing on the bottom.
Probably, yeah. I don't know. I was just
Uh,
like, if you're gonna be in public, don't be a fucking asshole.
yeah,
Like, there's
pretty
other
much.
people here trying to like, because again, I don't go to movies very often. So when I'm there, I'm trying to enjoy the movie. Like, what the
Now,
fuck?
I will say I don't have a problem with people who like have their phones out, texting, doing whatever while the previews are going.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
give a shit
previews
about
is
the
fine.
previews. Do whatever the hell you want. It's while the movie is actually playing.
When the
Holy
lights
shit.
go down and the thing comes up that says, "Please put your cell phones
Though,
away," like that's
I
when you
will
should do it.
say, I personally like watching the previews because again, I don't see any previews because I don't go to the movies too often. So I like to see what's coming up. So I am someone who actually likes to get there before the previews start, so I can actually see the previews for all the upcoming movies.
I like to get there early just so I can choose my seat and I not have to climb over people to get to my seat.
Bro, are you still in bumfuck nowhere where you guys don't have
Reserve seating.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even if you have a reserved seat and the row is filled, you still got to climb over people if you get there late.
Oh no!
Oh,
a
yeah,
bunch of
sure,
ours,
but that's not
a bunch
what
of
I'm
our
asking.
theaters converted to like the recliner chair stuffs. So
Oh
you have
shit!
plenty of
I
walk
love
room.
that shit, son. Oh
It's
my god!
great.
Yeah. Don't go to any theaters that isn't mall. So many teenager kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who the fuck goes to malls?
This wasn't even in the mall. This was in like freaking Factoria. It wasn't like in a mall at all.
Is
It's
that
just
the name of a video game? Factorio? What?
Factorio.
It is actually
yeah.
Factorio IO.
No, it's one of the cities that is around here. It's called Factoria. I like to go there for their movie theater because they got the recliner seats.
There's a theater in Tampa. I think they have one in Orlando too, but I've never been to the one in Orlando where not only do they have the recliners and like the seats are spaced out too, so you're not like right next to someone. It also has like a little tray table that kind of unfolds in front of you, and they actually serve you food. Like they'll come to your chair or your seat, and they'll be like they'll take your order and then they'll bring it to you.
I don't like that. I do
I
not
love
It's
like
funny.
that.
So when I went to go watch oh my god, what was the first part of Endgame?
The first part of Endgame. Just go with that. Whatever.
I forgot what the title of the first part of Endgame, what it was called.
The first part of Endgame is. Let's find out.
I don't remember.
I honestly don't remember either. But,
Infinity War.
Infinity War. So when I went to go watch Infinity War, it was with my brother-in-law, and we went to one of those fancy screenings at like midnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like midnight on Thursday, and it was the ones where you can order steak and wine and shit. Where it's like
nice.
It's a small theater. Because he was like, if I'm gonna watch this, because he's a big Marvel fan, he's a big ass Marvel fan. So he was like, if I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna watch it in a place that's like super nice and fancy and shit like that. And I'm just like, man, you're hella fucking bougie.
I'm
And
gonna
I
try and do
believe
this without spilling it. Watch me just fail. Oh, I did it.
so. I think it was really cool because I got to order a steak while I watched Infinity War. Like
Yeah.
it's really awesome.
Yeah, I love shit like that. I love it when it's like an actual restaurant. It's great.
Yeah, it's nice. Especially for the longer films nowadays. Because Infinity War is gonna be like 3 fucking hours, right? 2.5, 3 hours.
It was a long movie.
You're sitting there for a long time, and I'm like, yeah, I probably want something to eat and drink while I'm here. And not just like popcorn and hot dogs. Like I want an actual steak.
Knowing Natai, you would be like, that's not good either. It's like, bitch, stay home. Just please stay home. Don't go to theaters. There was an AMC theater in the mall I go to, but I stopped going because the chairs and service were ass. So I go to Cinemark, and the service and chairs were great. Plus, there's hardly people texting and distracting in the cinema. I mean, hey, go to the one that makes you feel or has the best service and has the best atmosphere, I guess.
Yeah, no, seriously. I normally prefer AMC, but no, like your location does matter. So go for that.
I prefer AMC too. I like the stock. Oh man. So there is a movie theater that I refuse to go to because when my brother turned 18, I took him to go watch a movie on his 18th birthday, rated R movie.
Oh boy.
And they wouldn't let him in because he didn't have an ID. Like he has a student ID, right? Where it's like he's a senior. It's like, bro, he's a senior. He's literally he's already graduated, by the way. Because this is like in July. And this
is your little brother, right?
Yeah, this is my younger brother. One of my younger brothers.
If you have someone over the age, you don't even need. You're chaperoning them. Yeah, they don't even need the ID. What the fuck?
Yeah, so that's why I was like, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have an ID. This is his 18th birthday, but it doesn't matter because I'm 20.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see the problem here. But this bitch was just fucking being a huge asshole. Like, she's being a bitch. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. She was like, well, you can go watch the movie, but he can't. I'm like, why? I bought the tickets. I'm over the age of 18. Like, I can be his guardian, right? She's like, well, no. I'm like, what do you mean no? He's like, well, he has to have an ID to show that he's over 18. Like, it doesn't fucking matter if I'm here, right? This is my younger fucking brother. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this. So I went to the thing. I was like, I'm going to refund my fucking tickets. They're like, why? It's like, is that dumbass bitch right there won't let me watch it with my younger brother. They're like, oh, well, we're sorry. Do you want, like, no, give me my fucking money back. I'm out. And I have never gone back to this movie theater since because of her.
Yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It doesn't. I don't get it.
Have I ever told you guys the story of how I saw the original Ghost in the Shell movie for the first time? Because I originally saw it in the theater too.
Oh, really?
Yes, when I was like 10.
What?
So, in the place that I grew up, in the town that I grew up in, we had like this. It was an independent like theater. It wasn't part of like AMC, Cinemark, any of those. It's the independently run and operated theater. And back in the day, before anime got super big, occasionally these, and this isn't just like for anime either. It's just for like smaller independent films. If they couldn't get a large run, sometimes the theater owners would get a copy of like an independent film and they'd show it at midnight. And for people that were like movie buffs or just wanted to come, and occasionally they would show anime movies at like midnight.
That's pretty cool.
So my cousin took me one time during the summer. The theater was playing Ghost in the Shell, the first movie, at like a midnight showing, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go. I'd never seen it before, and I think it was the first time I saw anime titties. It was nice.
Some pretty good anime titties to get started on.
I know, right?
Yeah.
The Major's got some nice titties.
My first theater movie that I watched was Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Did you just skip like episodes 4, 5, 6, and 1 and then watch episode 2?
I like how John has never seen it, but he knows the order instinctively.
Of course I know the damn order. I know so much about Star Wars without even watching Star Wars.
He doesn't. Yeah, exactly.
About it. Everyone talks about damn Star Wars, dude. Everyone.
I was 9 years old when episode 1 came out. It's great.
Yeah, I just feel like watching movies is, I don't know, going there and paying so much fucking money for the concessions and then having to be there. It seems like movies are getting longer and longer these days, which is a great thing. Again, I like watching long movies. I like watching something for 2 hours if it's good.
Yeah,
If
I
it's
don't
bad,
mind
then it's
long
terrible.
movies.
I'm the prequel guy.
I just wish they would allow these long movies to have intermissions. Same. Okay, Chinoda.
Yeah. I think it would be nice that if you had a 3-hour screening of a fucking movie to put an intermission within like the hour and a half mark, right? Halfway.
Yeah.
Because it's just nice. Go take a piss, go get some more drink, go get some more popcorn, go get something to eat, whatever. It's just nice. Like here's a 10-minute break to go do whatever.
I'd say like for any movie that's over 3 hours long, yeah, put an intermission at the halfway point, whatever the halfway point happens to be.
I think that when you take a break halfway from watching a movie, you have time to digest what's happening in the film.
Yes.
Like I understand that it breaks the immersion because a lot of movies are really about the immersion, but at the same time, when you take breaks to digest the stuff, it helps you appreciate the film more. So I don't understand why they wouldn't do that. Like if it's a horror film or something, I understand like, oh, it's a 2-hour horror film where you're supposed to be feeling tense the entire time. Like, sure, that would immersion break you from that. But again, it's no different from people watching it at home. If people want to watch it at home, they'll still feel the same stuff. Like, I don't think it would ruin the artistic integrity of your film by
I don't
giving
think so
it
either.
a freaking intermission. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't think it would either, but that's how I think so.
Again, I understand wanting to watch a film from the perspective of the director. Like you're supposed to watch it in one sitting. I get that. But
that's not how people work. We need to take a piss and get snacks.
Well, not only that, if I wanted it, because again, I've sat there for like I've sat there for the Lord of the Rings director's extended cut at the theaters before. I will sit there for 3.5 hours.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you will.
I've done it multiple times. It's not a problem for me, but that's because I choose to. But there's also been films where I'm like, you know what? I need to take a piss. I'll go take a piss.
Yeah.
And I hate that I miss stuff because again, I like getting there to even see the damn pre-rolls for movies, the previews. So me missing any amount of time in the movie sucks. So having a dedicated break time to do my business would be great. And even if I don't utilize it, it's fine because it's for other people too. You know, I'm not that selfish to be like, oh, the movie revolves around me.
You're not the only person in the theater.
No.
Unless you buy it out, I guess.
I mean, sometimes I wish I was the only person in the theater because God, man, some of these kids.
One of my friends did that one time. He bought out a theater for like a not the entire movie theater, but one of the theaters in the whole movie theater for like a private showing with him and his friends for his birthday.
Yeah. I actually do want to do something like that sometime. Like
if I'm not,
Natai has made an appearance. We summoned
everyone else is wrong.
The hatred, the seething hatred.
Has made an appearance. Hello, Natai. We're talking about how you're wrong for hating intermissions.
Yeah.
Should we get off this topic because we've been talking about it for a while now?
Yeah,
sure.
Well, John, it's your turn.
All right. Well. You wanted me to talk about Unity. I guess we can talk about Unity.
And Natai is here now. We can shit on him.
Bring back Titanic in theaters. Please don't. My mom made me go watch Titanic with her like 3 times.
Oh, God, you poor man.
Again, I was a little kid. I don't have a fucking say in this. And she loved Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic like every other mom does, right? So she watched it. I had to be there 3 times. 3 separate times.
Okay. To be fair, I agree with the moms. I understand now.
Bro, I don't know. Leo kind of a creeper. You know, his girlfriends are always like,
oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about his acting and all that. The personality, and that's yeah, we don't talk about that.
You know, I talked about how The Major was the first anime titties I ever saw. The first titties I ever saw in movies was what's her name's in Titanic.
Oh,
Rose.
Who played Rose?
No, the
Nicole
actress's
Kidman.
name. Is it? No.
Was it? No.
Man, yeah.
Was
No?
it? I don't remember. Anyway, whoever's titties those were, those are the first titties I ever saw in theaters.
The day Alex became a man.
Fuck
See.
Unity, it's gone. Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
no dev will ever actually trust Unity ever again after that bullshit.
so Unity released their price changes, right?
Mhm.
And they obviously released this price change because they want to cash in on games like Pokemon Go and Genshin Impact that are bringing in quite literally billions of dollars a month. They want to cash in on this type of revenue. The only way that they figured they could do that was to fuck everyone else in the process while doing this. But because of the community lashback, they did react to it and they changed some things. For one thing, they're more transparent about their changes, about what they'll like, the certain benchmarks you'll need to hit for them to start making you pay that runtime fee. Because that's the big deal was that runtime fee. They also changed the cap from $100,000 to $200,000 now to be applicable, like to be part of the, you now have to pay us for stuff, which is a good change because Unity has always been like that. Prior to this runtime fee, it was always if you made $100,000 or more with Unity, you had to pay for like the higher tier subscription packages for certain access to certain things. So good luck building trust with the public again. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. I think Unity's
Like the brand has been severely damaged. Like another thing that happened recently, obviously the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard finally went through after almost a fucking year of it being in legal limbo. And like Activision Blizzard has no reputation anymore.
Right.
What they do have is the brands.
No,
Unfortunately,
what they have is they release something because someone got accused of sexual assault in their office, and they're like, "Hey, look at this DLC! Don't look at all the sexual assault allegations in our offices."
Didn't they fire everyone related to that though?
no.
Yeah, but it still seems like every time they release any kind of trailer or DLC or whatever, it's just to distract from the fact that there's some kind of controversy within the office.
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me let you in on a little secret. All right. All these armchair gamers and armchair devs, they don't mean what they say.
Oh, of course
They
not.
will-
We're hypocrites.
be-
We're gamers.
You will
Are you telling
literally
me a company doesn't mean that they're going to save the environment, John?
No, I'm talking about how a person will say, I think we should cancel Unity, and yet Unity games are popping off right now. Right? I don't think devs will swap from Unity that have giant ingrained, because here's the thing. When you are using a system for a long time, you've spent so much time and resources into developing your skills in this field, right? Unity offers a lot of competitive packages. It has a competitive asset store that you can sell stuff through. It has a lot of things that studios quite literally don't want to rebuild without. Because imagine that you're an indie dev studio and you're making $2 million a year or something. Now you're saying you're going to quit Unity because you can't afford it. It's like, all right, well, how are you going to afford the next 5 years while you rebuild your skills with Unreal or something?
Yeah.
And all these assets that you used to own, you don't own anymore. All these things, there's a sunk cost fallacy to it as well. I understand that when a company does shitty practices, like, because they were ambiguous about the runtime fee. Basically, people were going like reading it and going, if you have over, was it 1 million downloads, you have to pay them money. And it's like, I run a nonprofit. I sell my game for free on the App Store and I don't make money off of it. So you're telling me because I have over 1 million downloads of my app, that's made through Unity, I have to pay you money. So that part was fucked. So Unity did clarify that. They're like, okay, if you, for the paid tier subscription stuff, you have to make more than $200,000 with your game now or your app or whatever. And for how they're going to do the runtime fee, you have to hit 2 things now. So you have to make over $1 million and you have to have over 1 million downloads. Then you have to pay a runtime fee.
Natai has a question.
How massive of a change would it be to move from Unity to Unreal?
A big change
in terms of skill set and working with an engine. So Unreal is coded in C++, and Unity is C sharp. So they're both C languages, so they're kind of similar. It's not terrible of a change, but it's more about the infrastructure and the code. So if I spent, let's say, 5 years developing my my game engine, right, my code and stuff like that, it's hard to translate that over to a different script. Things work differently. There's different types of physics engine, and there are more things you have to consider. On top of that, there's also assets. You know, an asset that I like, if I bought and used in Unity, I might not be able to replicate over in Unreal because it's not the same type of asset. They also have different lighting engines, and there's a lot of things to learn. It's a pretty big learning curve. Like, I'm talking,
I would imagine,
years. It'll take you like a year, 2-3 years to get proficient enough in the other one to just move over. Now, that's not to say that you can't do like a 3-month boot camp, because you definitely could do a 3-month boot camp to just get like your general bearings. And then it comes into consideration, how good are you at Unity? How much do you understand about coding and stuff like that? So it's dependent on that.
But you got to remember, this is like your entire team that has to work with it.
Yeah.
For example, if I've sunk in $25,000 into Unity thus far, I'm not getting that back if I swap over to Unreal.
Yeah.
You have to eat the cost if you're going to swap. It's not like you can get refunds.
And you got to kind of balance that, I guess. Is it worth it long term?
And the biggest change, though, from the update was that they are only applying it to the latest version of Unity. I believe it's 2024 and beyond, LTS. So LTS means long-term service. That is a version of Unity that they promise they will keep updating and like stuff for the next, I think it's 4 or 5 or 6 years. It's a long time. That's what it means by long-term service.
Okay.
They're going to be working on that engine for a while. And most people will have a stable version of this LTS. But that only applies to, right now would be 2023.9, I think it is, and above. So if you only have an updated version of Unity's engine that you made your game with, will you actually have to pay the runtime fee? So that's the biggest change that they did make. So if you're on an older engine, you won't have to pay. So people who have engines prior to that won't have to pay.
Well, that's good. That's something, at least.
That's the best thing, because now it's basically telling people, for one thing, developers don't like to update versions of their stuff anyway, because God, what new bugs have what bugs got fixed versus how many more bugs do we have to deal with that I don't know about anymore? Because like Unity, like, is it URP or HDRP? I think it was when we were doing it in URP. No, HDRP. It's a lighting issue where if you have more than like 5 light sources, it fucking fucks up. Phasmo had the same problem, I believe, with the lighting sources. Like,
Phasmo is a Unity game.
Yeah. So it's because rendering it like that, there's a built-in problem with the lighting in Unity, where if you have more than like 5 light sources, it stops working randomly.
I like how you genuinely just described what it's like being a programmer. It's like, my code won't compile. All right, time to end it all.
Oh, dude. But
actually, no, the programmer's life is like, all right, I fixed 18 bugs, and then you try to recompile it, and it says 37 bugs found.
Yeah, like, fuck.
Every time I fix it, it makes more.
Oh man, it's almost like I develop games or something, and I'm a programmer now. Oh shit. But yeah, the changes that Unity have made to their initial statement is good, because essentially it's only going to fuck people in the future. So this gives people ample opportunity to be like, all right, well, I'm not going to update to the latest LTS. So that way I don't have to pay your stupid runtime fee. Because I already pay you a shit ton of money anyway for just owning a game that makes more than $200,000. You already take money from me.
And you gotta think about it too, because it's not just them that's taking money. Because if you put your game on Steam, Steam's taking a cut of that money too.
Yeah, and it's not just Steam; it's also your publisher. And the biggest thing for well, yeah, unless you self-publish. But the hardest thing about this is how it affects the indie studios, because when you go to a publisher and you negotiate, like, hey, this is how much money I'm going to need to make this game, your projections for what the game's going to make, or here's this current interest and stuff like that, your overhead is something you have to talk about. Because unfortunately, the only thing, like 80% of what publisher companies care about is how much money can we make off of you.
Yep.
That's basically the biggest thing. If you
Yeah,
can't,
Because at
like
the end of the
90%
day,
of it.
unfortunately, this is a business. People do have to make money to live. It's the system.
I think like that's one of the big. It is the biggest thing. It's like 90%. Another one is how easy is this going to be to market?
yeah. So now that there's a runtime fee associated with it, you have to put that in consideration. Who's going to eat that fee? Because people were postulating that. So does the publisher eat the fee? Because then Microsoft is going to be real pissed about it. Then Microsoft was like, yeah, we're not eating that fee, and we will sue the fuck out of you, Unity, if you try to make us eat that fee. So that's why they really retconned it. Because they're, oh shit, there's a company that has more money than us that might sue us if we do this. So
yeah, because it's like the indie devs are bitching about it. Who cares? They're indie devs. They don't have the money. Microsoft, on the other hand, just bought a giant company for billions of dollars.
Yeah. So what Unity has done in response to that is fucking stupid, which is, well, it's complicated. So what you should do is you get with your publisher and you have your people and their people come talk to us and we'll work out a deal. Like, that's legitimately what they said. There is no plan set in place for it because they don't want to define that who has to pay it, because they're like, whoever pays it, that's up to you guys to decide. We'll work something out. And it's like, because they know if they legitimately were like, oh, we're going to make it whoever publishes it or whoever develops it, they're going to want to have to eat the cost. They don't want to get sued by them. Yep. That's why they did it. Which is almost like them saying, hey, we know it's a problem, but we're going to make it your problem. Yeah. So I've invested like 6 months into Unity so far, and like much of money into assets and stuff like that. And I've been considering making the switch to Unreal because of this. But at the same time, I'm like, well, 6 months of work isn't that terrible of a thing. Like, I don't have that much code I have to transfer over. And I don't think C+ is that much different from it. Oh, no, it is. It's pretty different from C#, but there's a lot more things I have to consider and learn. But I don't think I've sunk in enough that I would be afraid to abandon ship.
You don't have a sunk cost fallacy yet.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing was, this only applies to people with the later versions of Unity. I'm not even on the latest version. I'm on, like, my LTS is like 2022.
Oh.
Or 2021, actually.
I would like to say there's nothing stopping Unreal from doing this in the future either.
Other than the fact that they saw the obvious backlash and they're like, oh, okay, lesson learned.
Can I say one thing? We shit on social media a lot, and I think a lot of it is rightly deserved. If social media didn't exist, this kind of backlash and like walking stuff back would never happen. I mean, they didn't really walk it back. I'm pretty sure this updated drafted version was the initial draft, but they didn't want to release it because they're like, we're going to release the shitty version first, so that way the changes we really wanted to make. Beta testing. Yeah, no, exactly. That's what people do. They'll send out. If no one complains about the shitty version, we'll just release that. Exactly. But yeah, and what else infuriates me, because since we're on the topic of video games and development and stuff, yes, Natai, Unity is a bunch of cunts. They are very greedy, but I get it. If I made a game engine where I'm literally watching companies make billions of dollars every month. Billions with a B. Billions with a B. I'm like, I just want a small cut of that pie. I want fucking 25 cents for every fucking $1 billion. Like, for every dollar you make, I want 0.025 cents. Right? A fraction, like 2.5 cents. It's a 2.5% fee, I believe, is what the runtime fee is going to be. It's also shitty, though, because they don't say how they're going to measure it. It's all about self-reporting. I'm like, so we'll use our the analytics that are available to you as a developer, like for your downloads and stuff like that. It'll be based on your self-reporting of how much money you made. So you can either pay a flat fee of, I think it's 2.5% of your gross revenue. No, not even your gross revenue, not even your net revenue, your gross revenue. 2.5% of that. Or there's this other thing that you can use to pay it. And it's just like, so Unity is not even telling you they're basically like the fucking IRS. And they're like, we know how much money you owe, but we're not going to tell you. And if you get it wrong, we're going to come after your ass. Yeah, it's that. And it's like, it's real dumb. Like, Unity could do it themselves, but they refuse to because they're like, oh, we don't want to get sued for doing it wrong. So we're going to let you do it. And if you do it wrong, then we'll get more money out of you. It's like, fuck you guys. So, yeah. For those who live outside the US, that's exactly what doing your taxes here is like. The IRS knows how much you owe, but if you ask them how much you owe, they'll be like, mm, mm. You got to figure that out yourself, man.
Well, that has to do with like the lobbying of tax
TurboTax.
Yeah, of TurboTax and stuff like that, like Intuit, the parent company of TurboTax. Like I believe
yes, this right here, Classy Ulysses, this right here, 100%. The IRS scares the shit out of me.
Well, I forget what movie it was that I was watching that was like the government is just basically like the mafia, except they make the rules.
Yeah.
And it's like it's true, because just like in the mafia, you fuck with the government's money, they come after you, bro.
Yeah.
The government doesn't care about a lot of things that you do. One thing they do care about is fucking with their money. They definitely care about that.
The line in V for Vendetta: if one thing's true of all governments, the best kept records are tax records.
V for Vendetta is such a great movie. It's so timeless.
100% true. All governments keep shitty records except for their tax records, which are spotless.
Hey, I gotta ask, did you guys watch V for Vendetta on the 5th?
No.
Guys, it's tradition. What's wrong with you?
No, baby,
bro, Guy Fawkes is a clown. You know that they make this dude Guy Fawkes was like, I fucking hate the government. I'm gonna go blow up Parliament. What did he fucking do? All he did was fucking not blow up Parliament. He fucked up, actually. He got caught. So that's why people set dumpsters on fire, to make fun of the dude.
Also, he would have been horrified to see what people do with his likeness.
Oh God, yeah.
Freaking 4chan.
Also, a lot of people don't understand what he was actually fighting for. He wanted England to be a Catholic nation. That's why he wanted to blow up Parliament.
Yeah. So V for Vendetta has done weird things for Guy Fawkes. People think he was this like revolutionary guy.
He's a revolutionary. Just
he
not
was
what you think he was.
No, but he was an absolute fucking clown.
What a fun movie.
Yeah, John, I think you're right. They're cunts, but you understand why they did it.
I understand why. I mean. Yeah, they just like everything else, money. They wanted money, greedy money.
Yeah.
But speaking of video games, it's been like 2 months. So I finally finished Baldur's Gate 3. I am on my 3rd playthrough now.
Congratulations.
I'm not nearly as addicted as I was in the beginning. Very fun game. I think
one of these days I will play it. I don't know if it'll be on stream, but I will play it.
I think people who are saying game developers, Western game developers, are upset at Larian for what they did and like how a game should be like this on launch, like you stated, Alex, on the last episode. I think you're all armchair devs and you don't understand how game development works at all. Because
I mean, my thing is just the studios gaslighting you, and it's like, well, we did our best. Like, did you?
No, studios didn't actually say that. It was literally people on Twitter. All your sources are from people on Twitter who don't work in the industry, by the way.
Okay. I still think there's a lot of studios that knowingly release their games unfinished.
I think that is true. But I think that the reason why Larian was able to do what they did, quite literally, without Baldur's Gate 3, Larian was going to go under. Like, let's get this clear.
They were running in the red for many years.
Yeah. They were literally, if Baldur's Gate 3 did not pop off as it did, I guarantee you they would have filed bankruptcy. They would have closed their studio this year.
And it would have bought by Bethesda. And they would make Baldur's Gate 4.
And they would. But Larian has spent a ton of time and money developing Baldur's Gate 3. And it's like a great story when that pays off. But the thing is, in the game development world, just because you throw a bunch of money and time into a project doesn't mean it always succeeds.
That's true.
The level of depth that they put into the game is insane. Like, as a person, as someone who likes playing video games and as a developer myself, I completely understand, like, they put a lot of work and passion into this. Holy shit. There's a lot of man hours. And I'm glad it paid off. But to do this type of working, like to work in a style like this, like how and the depth that they did, like Larian did, if you wanted every studio to do that, then we would have a lot more closed studios, because it's a gamble.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's going to pay off. That doesn't mean like developers should be lazy and just like release fucking whatever.
Shovelware.
But yeah, like shovelware, like fuck, no one cares about this. Just drop it and make money.
But what Larian did is truly a gamble.
Yeah, it's unique
surprising
to
that it paid off. Yeah.
And I think it's stupid for Armchair devs, for example, to be like, yeah, this is the new gold standard. I'm like, no, it's not. This is not a standard that we should uphold any studio to. It's great that they were dedicated to their craft. Getting sources from Twitter is usually not a good source. Yeah, Alex, you should probably take some advice from that.
I will say, I think it's a gold standard for Baldur's Gate games.
I think so. It's great that Larian was able to pull this off, but I don't. If they make a Baldur's Gate 4, I don't think it's going to be like they did for Baldur's Gate 3. Because again, it's a lot of time and money.
Would you want
doesn't
it
mean
to
it's
be,
going to
though?
pay out?
Even as someone who likes the game, wouldn't you want it to be something different? You wouldn't want to
I'd
play the
want
same
it to
game
be
again,
good.
would you?
I'd want it to be good, but my point is, as a developer, you have to do a lot of things to try to make your game successful, right? There are things you can employ. There are things that matter. Larian understood that for the people that they wanted to buy Baldur's Gate were giant D&D nerds. So they hyper focused on having a good pool of people because they had Act 1 out for like what, 7 years, 10 years or whatever. Act 1 for Baldur's Gate has been out for a long time. And people have played through it and discovered everything about it. And using that information from Act 1, that's how Larian crafted the rest of Baldur's Gate. And it's also why Act 3 feels so rushed and like terrible compared to Act 1 and Act 2. Because they really loved it and they fine-tuned it over years.
It's like beta testing.
Yeah, over years. That is that is a tough standard to meet. That is not something you can replicate all the time. It's just too much effort, too much time and money. Of course, I want games to be the best possible version that they could be before they release. But that's not how reality works. You have studios that don't have money. A lot of studios don't actually have money. The people who have money are publishers like Bethesda, Microsoft. These are the people you go to and you're like, look, I want to make a game and I think it's going to take X amount of time and X amount of money.
Please, may I have some money?
Yes, because when you get that money for your project, that funding, it's going to be real damn hard to go back to them and ask for more. Because then they'll do like what Warner Brothers does. We're just like, fuck it, we're canceling your shit. Warner Brothers is another publisher. And they do that.
They
all
publish
the time.
games too.
Yeah. And it's hard because you as a studio, like the head of a studio, you need to be able to keep the lights on in your offices for as long as possible.
Pay your employees.
Because you're getting this project and you're saying it's going to be the X amount of time and money, and you can't waste a cent of it.
And you
because
need
if you
to deliver.
You need to deliver. And when you deliver, they want their cut. If I ask you for $100 million, I need to make $200 million for the $100 million you gave me already to keep my lights on for the last 5 years. And the other $100 million is for you for giving me $100 million.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of just like how movies, with advertisements and stuff. Like
or TV shows or anything.
Yeah. That's just kind of like
creative.
And
I mean, you mentioned it though. Like a lot of what you're saying can be applied to a lot of creative stuff too, not just video games. It's a risk. It's a huge risk. It's a gamble.
Yeah. And a lot of studios can't operate like that because one, shitty publishers, like look at EA. Look at the shit that EA pulled to destroy video games where they're like, we really want you to add monetization in this game.
I mean, you use the past tense. They're still doing it.
They are still doing it.
Okay,
I will say this.
Madden
I will say this. They have been getting slightly better about it, not giving them full props or anything, but I think it's a little bit better than how it used to be.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
It's just as bad, if not worse, because the only thing they care about is money. Just like most, like most corporations, they only care about one thing: money. They want your money. So
but you look at these big development studios that have become essentially corporations. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and it's really no one's fault. Development studios, they get too big. There's too many working parts, and it's just you lose yourself into the cogs of the machine, which is why a bunch of the Respawn employees went and made Gravity Well, because that's how they felt. Respawn was a bunch of Activision.
Yeah, Activision.
Respawn was from Activision.
Infinity Ward?
No, it was.
It was
Oh
Infinity
wait,
Ward.
no, it
wasn't
was Infinity Ward, wasn't it?
I don't
Was
remember.
it?
Activision or Infinity Ward. I don't remember which one. I'm pretty sure it was Infinity Ward, but yeah, a bunch of ex-employees of a really big studio were like, fuck this sucks. So they went and made their own studio, Respawn. And then the same thing happened where the studio got too big and they were making too much money and there's too many working parts and their big publisher, EA, big ass EA Sama was like, hey, bend over. We're going to fuck you raw because we need you to do these things. So then a bunch of them left and made Gravity Well. And
Is the same thing going to happen again?
I hope not, because their message is that we want to be. It was Infinity Ward, yeah. But the developers who went to Respawn were the ones, or from Respawn to make Gravity Well. Their message is pretty clear. They don't want to do. They want to change how the system works. They don't want their development studio to be like the rest of the development studios, where you're begging a big ass publisher for money. They want people who work on the projects, who work in the company, to be the ones who actually get royalties. They want to be paid perpetually for their work, which you should. It's insane that you develop a game and then because a publisher publishes it, they generally own it. They'll own the royalties for it because it's like, we gave you $100 million to make this game. You got your money. Now we get our money. Because it is true. If you paid me $100 million and the game that I made you only makes you back $100 million, you basically didn't gain any money for this 5-year project. You gave me a loan for $100 million that got no interest.
Yeah. And you don't even get the benefit from it.
Yeah. Which is why a lot of publishers are like, we get the royalties for sales and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you can't really fight it. Cause it's like, all right, you're the one who's fronting me $100 million. I can't really tell you no.
Which I can't imagine how terrifying it must be if you're running like an indie company that's also self-publishing. That's got to be the most terrifying shit in the industry, because you don't know if the money you got is ever going to get a return.
Yeah. So it's going to be like, you can ask like Supergiant, for example. They started off as an indie company and they published their own stuff. Supergiant, the guys who made Hades.
And it worked out really well for them, but there was no guarantee. And you mentioned it too before, like, just because a game is good, it's no guarantee it's going to sell well. No. There's probably been a lot of really good, like solid, well-developed, finished games that are on Steam that maybe like 10 people have played.
Yeah, for like Supergiant, they made, I liked Pyre. I thought that was a pretty decent game. I liked Bastion. I liked the music design. I liked everything that Supergiant has made thus far. They really popped off when they made Transistor. That was a really big indie one that everyone liked playing, Transistor. And then they made Hades, and now everyone knows them. They made a shit ton of money off of Hades. They will continue to make a shit ton of money off of Hades. With Hades too, Electric Boogaloo. But my point is, they put in a lot of time and effort to do what they had to do to make money,
and it shows.
And it finally paid off, which is great. But would you say that the level of depth that Supergiant has put into their video games, I wouldn't say is as deep or as well developed as Larian as a studio, right? And now you
but the passion is still different.
Yeah, it's like, well, one's more of an indie studio and Larian's like a AAA studio. I'm like, but it doesn't matter. They're both studios.
Yeah, they're both run by people who are allegedly passionate about making games.
Yeah, and again, the depth that people have to work towards to get their goals done, it has to be met in a realistic fashion. Like, look, working overtime, doing crunch in video game development is kind of just inherent in the system, because making games is a very creative process. Sometimes you're just fucking on fire and you don't want to stop. You're like, oh my God, I have these new things I need to implement. It's fucking like, I've already worked my 8-hour shift, but I'm like, I can implement this new thing for tomorrow and it'll be great.
If I work like 4 more hours, I can get like 3 days worth of work done right now.
Well, because the creative juices are flowing. You're like, oh my God, there's this new system that I need to implement that's like really good. And that type of passion is what drives these studios. People being passionate and working like that is what creates burnout too. It's a double-edged sword. It sucks. It's hard to find a balance between the two, where it's like, for me, for example, sometimes I'll be working and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be working on this. I hate this. This is a problem I can't solve right now. And I'm slogging through 6 hours of like coding. Other times I'm like, I'll be working for just like 8 hours and I'll be on fire. I'm like, oh my God, there's this new thing. Oh my God.
Stop.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck, I want to call out from my actual paying job to stay home to keep coding because I'm like, oh, there's this new thing I need to implement. It's a cool new system. Oh my god, and it's like it's that, right?
Mhm.
It sucks, and
I get the same way too. Like, you know, I like to like write and do like world building and stuff. And like, I'll be on fire one time. It's like, I got to force myself to stop. Like, if I
yeah.
don't force myself, I'm going to sit here for 8, 10, 12 hours and like not stop.
So I think that for all the armchair devs who are like, oh yeah, devs should be like this. I'm like, you've obviously never coded a single fucking line of code in your life, and you've never worked at a studio, or you've never been an actual developer, indie or otherwise. Like, it's not easy. It is not.
No, it's not.
And there's a lot of decisions that need to be made. And the biggest thing is that if you don't have money, it's going to be hard to do anything. Right? Like, one of the directors of my programs at my college, he used to be a producer for Warner Brothers, I believe. And he also worked at Activision for a little bit. But he was an executive producer. So he was the person who would be like, all right, how much money is this going to cost? What do we need to do to get this project done? Hey, where are we on the timeline for where we're supposed to be at for this video game? So
he's sitting there in the meetings like this, just furiously writing notes. And then at the end just goes, nah.
Yeah, he was part of Medal of Honor. If you guys remember that video game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I actually liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. He also helped make Lord of the Rings, the one where you could play as like 3 different characters or classes or something. I don't remember which one that was called. No, not the MMO. It was I think it was a PS2 game.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was part of that. He also helped make he hated playing the Lord of the Rings game or developing that one because he's like, I hate fantasy. He's more of a sci-fi guy. I understand, but he also, after he wanted to stop being an executive producer, he also went and made his own studio and developed their own game and made millions of dollars as well. So, you know, I take this guy's advice pretty seriously. He's someone whose opinion that I do value because he's been in all positions, you know, as an artist, as an executive producer, as a production leads and stuff like that, and then as an independent studio. He has a wealth of knowledge that, you know, when I was learning under him, I wanted to learn from him because I'm like, this dude has done everything that I want to do. I want to work at a AAA studio. I want to highlight and do my own like indie projects. Like, there's a bunch of stuff. And his biggest lesson to me was money. If you want to develop a game, it doesn't matter if you are a indie studio or if you are a AAA studio. The only thing is about the money.
It's not about the message. It's about the money.
Because it takes money to do any of this stuff. Because it is gambling. It's an investment. You investing $100 million or $50 million in a project that lasts 3 to 5 years, you don't know if that money's coming back. If it's not coming back, you're out money. What are you doing? What are you going to do? The money's spent. It's gone. We can only hope that it makes money. So people have to pull decisions and stuff like that. Especially you have to appease your publishers when they're the ones giving you the fucking money.
Yeah.
So again, for all the armchair devs that don't know this, you should understand that's how it works. If you want to borrow an advance of $50 million for this project that's going to cost you, $50 million and 3 years of development, when they, the ones who gave you the money, tell you we want this added, you can't tell them no because you already spent the fucking money. A year into development, you spent a year of their money, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to pay them back that 10 million with what? You don't have a project to show. You don't have money. It's hard. And for these people, because it just infuriates me because they don't understand that you can't just stop. Oh, it's about integrity. What integrity, bro? I don't have 10 million to give back to your studio from the studio to the publisher. I can't stop.
Classy Liz is right. It's pretty much a loan.
It is a loan.
Yeah,
it
you take a business loan. And, like I said, everyone wants their money. It's hard. When you're 2 years into a development cycle and you've spent all their money, when they come to you and we want to add this change, you have to do the change. It's not like you can just say no because they're the ones giving you the fucking money. It doesn't matter how well-versed you are. I'm like, well, we think that this metric that you're talking about where this new fad in video game development is just like loot boxes, for example. Originally it wasn't supposed to be in a couple of games like Star Wars Battlefront when the remake. It wasn't supposed to be, But what did EA do? They're like, hey, you know what makes a shit ton of money? Overwatch. Loot boxes. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Because when Overwatch launched, loot boxes weren't new. Like Counter-Strike had loot boxes and stuff too. But that's more like people betting on keys and stuff. And that's more like a low-key thing. But then they're like, we could just monetize it with loot boxes. You know, there's that other game that came out that had like Justin Roiland in it. I don't remember what it was called.
Oh, the speaking gun one?
No, not that one. It was like a hero PvP game. It was basically like Overwatch. It's like something Stompers. I don't remember, but point is that studio also added a shit ton of loot boxes and stuff because it's again your publisher is going to be like, hey, do this. We want money.
How can we maximize profit out of this project?
Because publishers and stuff do spend a fuck ton of money on marketing. They do. And they're like, this is what the numbers show. We will literally get a return of at minimum this. So implement this thing. You can't fight against that. This company just spent $2 million on their marketing to learn all about this research market.
And for all the people out there that will say that loot boxes don't make money, they wouldn't keep doing them if they didn't make money.
Yeah. Just like battle passes. Everything has a fucking battle pass now because it makes money.
Yeah. That's why I have a enormous amount of respect for studios and publishers, I suppose, who like release a bunch of DLC and never charge you for it. I'm like, how are you giving us this?
Yeah. And you know, to ride on this, like there's a lot of consumers, I'll call them gamers, that you know they say that they're on the side of studios. They want people to be passionate, and I get that. I also love playing video games from passionate studios, like Team Cherry, for example, with Hollow Knight. They've been passionate about Hollow Knight for a long time, and I loved everything that they crafted in their video game. I fucking love Hollow Knight. Same thing for Larian. You can feel the passion that they had for the game when they made it, and that does translate over. But there's a lot of people who also complain when even if the developer is passionate about how they make it, there's people who will always complain about this or that.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Nitpick stuff too.
Yeah, nitpick stuff. And it's like, you're not helping anything by being a nitpicker. You can have your opinions. You can say a game is shit, right? Especially if it's like a game that people did not give a fuck about and just threw nothing at and made money. Sure, why not? You know, insert infinite makes of Call of Duty games prior, like Advanced Warfare, Infinity Warfare, Ghosts. Like literally Call of Duty Ghosts. I remember they reused literally the same animations for cutscenes and stuff from a prior game.
And it's certainly okay to say a game is just not for you. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the development studios are the ones who are having to beg for money and have to figure out how to pay for keep the lights on. And until you as the gamer are an investor in this company, because you're not, you are a consumer, you are not an investor. You have no say in how they direct their stuff. And if they have to bend to the publisher's demands, sucks, dude. Maybe if you weren't as volatile and be like, don't fucking pre-order games, guys. Pre-ordering games gives these development studios money and they deliver you half-assed games, that's a fair criticism. I do believe that. I've been burned by a lot of pre-orders before, you know?
Yeah.
So I completely understand that you shouldn't pre-order stuff unless you really like it or you played the beta and stuff like that. Like for Destiny 2, I played the beta and I was like, oh, I fucking love Destiny 2. I like this. So I pre-ordered it. Why not? I liked it. Yeah. Then I played for like a month and a half, 2 months, and then it became not fun anymore. So I stopped playing.
It became like a second job.
No, there wasn't enough content. And it wasn't the game that I was promised. But I didn't go online and fucking post about it on Twitter and shit like that. Cancel Destiny. Guys, Bungie has really fucking tried to fuck us. Like, I'm not angry video game man online who's going to rant about this because I'm in the development now. Now I'm on the other side. I'm like, I am above you. I know so much more than you.
Bungie has fucked over a lot of their employees though now.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And a lot of it is true though. If you don't like a studio doing something, if you don't agree with it, vote with your wallet. That's how
vote with your wallet is such
if you don't like a
certain thing.
Yeah, if you don't like
a point, because some of these like studios and publishers, EA doesn't care. They're gonna make money either way. They're gonna find a way to wring money somewhere out of this.
I don't think so. I think that because voting with your wallet, like I said, market trends are a thing that they spend a ton of money to research. So if the market trend is like, hey, there's been a recent upsurge in people not wanting to play games that have battle passes or loot boxes, they like this thing instead, they'd rather go to the other thing.
Yeah. Like I said, they wouldn't keep making loot boxes and battle passes if they didn't make money. They clearly make money.
Every YouTube game review. Yeah, basically.
I mean, John, that's a pretty good, yeah. It's a pretty good impression.
If you like Game Studio, buy their game, man. If you don't like it, that's fine. Get a refund. Do something else, you know?
If a game isn't for you, it's perfectly fine to say, hey, this game just isn't for me, but I'm glad other people like it.
Yeah. Just, it's not a lot of development studios are not the bad guys.
No. Are there some out there that are shady and scummy? Sure.
For sure. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
I mean, especially in the indie market now. I mean, I like indie studios, but there's some that are shady as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, look at the mobile game devs that are marketing towards children.
Yeah, marketing gambling simulators towards children.
Yeah, there's a bunch of studios that mobile and otherwise I wouldn't want to ever work for, but in the interest of, you know, not burning bridges before I make them, I'm not gonna,
you've heard of burning bridges. I'm gonna nuke this bridge, motherfucker.
Oh, there are plenty of studios that I would not fucking want to work for, but I can't burn those bridges, right? Because maybe one day we might be collaborating. So
who knows? I guess I can talk about. There's one last thing I definitely wanted to bring up. And it's a quick thing. So we're coming up on Thanksgiving, and we're coming up on the end of the year. You guys got any plans this year?
Yeah.
Are you going hunting for Thanksgiving, John?
Oh no, the season ends before that.
Oh,
yeah. Deer season ends. Late season is open this weekend, and it ends next weekend. So it's the weekend before Thanksgiving, and then the season's over. And I don't want to go hunt deer. I think it's too gamey. I don't want to like bother. I already went like for the last 4 weeks I've been hunting, so I'm like tired. I want to stay home.
Screw this tracking shit.
Quite literally.
I'll be working retail during the holidays. That's unfortunate.
Good luck, class. Good luck.
Salute you,
I worked Black Friday retail one time. I worked at Target for a little bit, and I worked Black Friday. The worst. People are literally the worst.
I remember one time people turn into actual animals.
Oh my god! So one time we were pulling more TVs out the back, right, for people who had orders for them because there's more stock, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're pulling them out, and when I walked out with the cart full of like new TVs, fucking people were waiting to fucking just grab them off my cart. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, this is not for you guys. So the next load, I actually had to like winch down like straps, put them down so that way people couldn't take them. Holy, this is not for you. These are orders.
Back up! I'll shoot.
I have to question: did the previous order? Did you manage to like get them back, or did people just take them?
People fucking. There was like 5 flat screen TVs, and they just fucking descended like a horde, like fucking grabbed all of them. Nuts.
It's like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, crazy.
I used to work at Advanced Auto Parts, and we were always closed for like Thanksgiving, Christmas, but we'd always be open the day after. And I worked in the commercial section, so I would either answer phones or I would go deliver parts to our commercial clients, and like 90% of them would be completely customers are monsters. Yeah. 90% of them would be like closed the day after a major holiday like Thanksgiving or Christmas, but I still had to be there. And so it would always be one, they would always have one driver and one person there answering phones for just the commercial section of the business. And it got so slow after Thanksgiving one day, me and the other guy that was there answering phones just started playing cards. And the head of our store just came back and he's like, shit, there's no one coming today, is there? And we're like, no. It's like, I'd love to send you home, but I can't. He said, well, can we take some money out of the drawer to gamble? He's like, no.
We'll put it back. It's just for playsies, dude.
We're literally gambling with house money. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, working retail around like Thanksgiving, Christmas is it's not great most of the time.
Promotions after Black Friday are better than the actual Black Friday specials.
That's
Yeah, so
legit though. So many
it's-
people don't understand that or
shit that
realize
people
that.
have brought back they didn't want.
Well, like end of the year liquidation is a real thing because when you understand how companies work, it's they have 4 quarters, right? Every 3 months. So there's a certain threshold where it's the end of the year. We need to close up our books. So we need to pump all our numbers up for investment reasons, right?
Not just that, there's inventory you need to get rid of by the end of the year too.
Yeah.
Because you got to make room for new inventory.
There's some
You're-
warehouses that literally destroy completely perfect. And when I say some, I mean a lot of warehouses that will straight up destroy a lot of perfectly fine, perfectly usable things just to get rid of it. I
yeah,
kid
the
you
best
not.
time to shop is right after Christmas, dude.
Dude,
Right after Christmas.
seriously, like when I worked for Amazon, granted, I only worked there for about a year, but when I worked there, and I didn't work at a warehouse, I worked at a distribution center. So we got to see all the stuff that had been packaged or sent in before it got sent out to its like ultimate destination. And dude, the day or two after Christmas, like really like the whole week after Christmas, 80% of everything we saw was returns.
Wow.
It's crazy.
People didn't like it. It wasn't because
They're not the right size.
yeah, it's just it happens. So
Yeah,
that's my plan for Thanksgiving, Christmas. I'm just gonna get fat, really.
Get fat. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I love the holidays because man, I don't gotta cook and I go and eat.
Didn't
Recently?
you say
So-
like within the last couple of years you got to experience like a traditional American Thanksgiving for the first time?
So I'm Asian. We don't celebrate Christmas or Thanksgiving.
You're
like,
Asian? What?
Well, who would have thought? Hold on, let me check. Yeah, still Asian. But
Hold on.
I recently because I got married to someone who is white and has American white family members, I finally experienced like traditional Thanksgiving and Christmas, like
Mhm.
foods and stuff.
It's good shit.
Because a lot of the times we had Thanksgiving, like we'd have turkey on Thanksgiving because we were told we're supposed to have turkey, but we wouldn't cook it like an American person would. We'd cook it like an Asian person would. Oh, my wife just fell. Are you okay?
Oh my goodness.
I told you it wasn't I told you it wasn't solid.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's safe. She's fine.
Okay,
Don't
but-
call an ambulance, whatever you do.
Ambulance. But yeah, so we cooked the turkey like Asian style. Like
What
whatever
does that
means.
mean? How do you cook it?
Bro? We cooked that shit like Peking duck. That's how.
Hell yeah.
But other than that, all our sides, like we would have mashed potatoes as our sides, but that's about it. Like cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and then there's a turkey cooked like Asian style. Then we'd have like stir fry, we'd have egg rolls, we just have Asian food, bro. And it was the same thing for Christmas. Like, we just cooked the same shit that we did on Thanksgiving. Most of the time for Christmas, we do a hot pot. We're like, fuck it, we do a hot pot. Or we'll do barbecue. Like we wouldn't fucking actually cook Christmas food. So yeah, after meeting my wife and marrying her, like experiencing, I finally got to experience like traditional American Christmas and Thanksgiving foods. And oh my god, let me tell you,
It's good shit.
I didn't know
Real
stuffing
good
could
stuff.
taste good. I didn't even know. I honestly,
Oh.
honest to God, didn't know what stuffing was.
Wait, really?
See, we don't do stuffing here in the South. We do dressing, which is different. It's the same kind of stuff, but except that we don't stuff it in the turkey. We actually make it with the drippings from the turkey.
Ooh.
So we have a pan underneath that like collects like the fat drippings from the turkey, and then we make a cornbread, I don't know what you would call it, in a pan, and then we mix the fat from the turkey, the drippings from the turkey, into that cornbread mix. It's really good.
God, that sounds so bad for you. I love it.
But it's
Oh,
bad for the
man.
body, good for the soul, my friend.
So I'm lactose intolerant, right?
Mm.
But I love cheese and dairy products. I love milk.
And we'll eat cheese
And
up.
my mother-in-law makes this like 4 or 5 cheese mac and cheese. It's so
Oh,
good. Oh, bro, I'm so excited for Thanksgiving so I can go fuck up some mac and cheese.
How
Oh,
bad are you
man.
gonna gas up the house, man?
Woo! On the ride home, man.
they're gonna call him the
commit
pooter.
more crimes.
I feel like
I
Petra
can
just
only
shitting
imagine
on all of
the
everyone.
horror on Lacey's face right now.
She can't hear us.
No, I said the look.
She's in the
of horror.
chat. Oh
She
shit.
can hear him.
What are you listening to?
I think it's raining outside. It's like what it
Oh,
sounded
I was
like
like,
the
what are you doing?
the AC was like going crazy. I was like, oh no, it's just raining outside. The good thing is the weather's getting cold in Texas. Yeah, the weather is definitely. Listen, so we're in a period of El Nino right now, and here in Florida, you can definitely tell because we're experiencing an actual fall.
Oh shit!
Like the
Yeah, we're supposed
humidity
to
is
get a,
not super high right now, and the highs are always in like the high 70s, low 80s. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, right now there's supposed to be a big ass rainstorm coming my way actually. So
Nice.
but it's like cold, but not cold enough for snow. It's huge rainstorm.
Give
It's
it
crazy
time.
weather.
I was actually supposed to, well, not supposed to, but I got multiple offers to actually travel around this year for holidays and stuff. I actually ended up turning a lot of those down because I'm like, I need to bump up my finances just a bit. So I'm planning on working through most of my holidays. I'm still going to celebrate them, but just it'll
Are
be
you being
after work
smart
kind
with
of
your
things.
money, Chinoda? What is this?
I know, surprise. It's almost like I need it to live.
Yeah.
I'm so at my job, we shut down for the last 2 weeks of it's like 10 days, basically 2 weeks of work for just like it's a holiday break. We don't take a lot of holidays off because of that, but I like having like the end of the year break between Christmas and New Year's because that's just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's like I have winter break, dude. It's as an adult, it's awesome. I love it.
It's funny because it's sort of become like an unofficial tradition here on the podcast that we don't record anything the last 2 weeks of the year. Like we've been doing that
everyone
since, like,
gets so busy.
Everyone's busy.
yeah, we've been doing that ever since like 2018, I think, where we all kind of collectively agreed, hey, last 2 weeks of December, we're just not gonna record anything. It's like, yeah, sure, great. We'll spend time with our friends and family.
I mean, other than like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and then New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, I'm pretty free. So if we wanted to stream or do anything else, like it's fine.
Oh, I probably will stream at least a couple of those days. Although most of that time I'm going to be up north with my family in Pittsburgh.
But if I wanted to work, I get a shit ton of money for working.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Because you get paid double time when you work.
Plus so do I. I get paid double time if I work on holidays.
I get paid for the entire 2 weeks. On top of that, if I work, I get paid double time for every day I work.
Oh, shit.
I worked it. I remember my second year at my job, I worked it, made a shit ton of money, but I was miserable the entire time. Like I didn't because I had to work and I still had to like go in and stuff like that. It just was hard to spend time with my family. I realized that like for my work-life balance, I didn't like it very much. And last year I took it off and I just stayed at home for 2 weeks. It was awesome. And I plan to do the same thing this year. I don't want to work.
Oh yeah, bro.
Fuck it.
Work-life balance. Work-life balance.
Sometimes it's not about the money, man. Sometimes it's about just chilling.
Yeah. Do you guys open your presents on midnight or morning? My family opens Christmas presents on New Year's Eve.
What?
The New Year's Day is for like spending time with family and like having good meal.
But why Christmas presents on New Year's Eve?
Listen. This is how it was when I was growing
tradition.
up.
Sure. So for me, because I have two families now, right? Mine and my wife's family, we have to split the days, so it'll be both days. But traditionally, we would always do it on Christmas Day. We would do presents and stuff.
Yeah, same. I like to do it on Christmas Day. It's an old thing from childhood, but it's just a fun thing. Like you get a gift. Sometimes you get it early, and it's like, oh boy, I can't wait to find out what it is.
I will say we didn't always open all of our Christmas presents on Christmas Eve because we would save like the stocking stuff for Christmas morning when we woke up, and then like it's kind of weird because when I grew up, I lived one street away from my grandparents, so every year on New Year's Eve we would go to their house and open presents that night on New Year's Eve. And then any kind of leftover presents that we had at my parents' house for all of us, we would open Christmas morning along with looking through our stockings.
Okay.
So I guess kind of both. It's funny, this year I won't be home and I won't be with my parents either, but we are both going off somewhere. Just to different places. I'm going up north to be with some cousins in Pittsburgh, and my mom and dad are like, well, since you're not going to be here, we'll just go on a cruise
Again, as usual.
I'm surprised your parents don't want to go visit your cousins. Like, what?
Because it's up north and they hate the snow.
Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, they're old. They're old now.
No, it wouldn't have mattered. Even when they were young, they wouldn't have done it.
Oh, that's right. Born and raised Floridians. My bad. I forgot.
My mom is. My dad was born in Florida, but raised in Chicago.
The hell?
Then he should be used to the fucking slimy cold.
Oh, he is used to it. He hated every second of it when he was born.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I don't know. My parents are both like, yeah, we like not having seasons. I'm like, okay, fine. You're in the perfect state then.
The one season, swamp ass. I don't think
swamp
so.
Swamp ass season, alligator season. I don't know.
You live there a while, you get used to it.
Yeah. I don't think I could. No, I hate humidity.
You know, you say that, John, but you were here. You've experienced it a couple of times now. Do you now understand why Florida people are so fucking crazy?
Yeah.
It's the humidity,
heat.
Man.
The damn humidity and heat makes you crazy.
People ask, like, why did that guy in Miami literally eat someone's brain, like, right in front of the police? I'm like, because it's Florida.
Born in Cali, live in Texas. Hate hot weather and prefer cold weather.
Bro, move up north.
Go live in Alaska, bro.
If I had to live somewhere else, I think Texas might not be a bad choice for me. Because you actually get seasons, especially in northern Texas.
Oh, I thought you were going to say because Joe Rogan lives there now.
No, I mean, I feel like in northern Texas, like Dallas, or even in the Panhandle, perhaps, like you get genuine seasons.
Alex, you're gay as fuck. You really want to go to Texas?
I don't think you realize how progressive some of the cities in Texas are.
Yeah, like, overall, though.
Houston or Dallas?
Houston and Austin are both pretty pretty progressive cities.
Yeah, Austin is like the second Silicon Valley, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Like a lot of companies are moving out there. And
I like how you said silicone instead of silicon. Yeah, those nice big silicone titties in Austin.
Plus, Texas gas are cheaper. God, gas is so expensive up here. Holy shit. It's like $5 a gallon.
What?
Yeah.
I got it a couple days ago for $3.21.
Yeah,
it's like $5 mad. Crazy. I got it for like $2.97 the other day.
All right, whose dick did you suck to get that gas?
We got a Sheets over here now.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, Shinoda, did you have anything else to say, or are you just gonna leave it blank?
What do you mean leave it blank?
You had one thing. It says Marvel's.
That. No, I didn't have anything to actually say.
All right. So now it's time to fight. All right.
Okay.
Oh no.
I need to say something. The overall best potato chip flavor.
Here we go.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Salt potato chips are always good with anything that you're eating. Anything. Sandwiches, pizza, doesn't matter. Okay.
You mean just like the basic potato chip flavor?
Just a basic salt potato chip. All right. I love dill pickle. I love salt and vinegar. I love all the, the dress up flavors and all that stuff, all dressed up, which is like ketchup, barbecue, ranch. I think that's what dressed up is. It's like Canadian flavor. Ketchup, potato chips.
Fucking Canadians. We should never let them make food.
My point is, all right, I think, like, unequivocally, unanimously, salt is the best flavor because it goes with anything. Anything you could be eating, you could be eating,
and they go good by themselves.
Potato chips. They're great by themselves, not the best by themselves, because, like I said, I'd probably fuck up a spicy dill pickle or something. But
your wife has something to say about this.
Nacho cheese Doritos are tops. Yeah, those are pretty good. But
Salt is the best one because of how universal you could use it. You could eat it with anything.
Hickory barbecue is a
barbecue
very
is really
good
good.
flavor.
Yeah, I'm not too big into barbecue chips.
Those Israeli Doritos I had last night were fucking delicious. You guys will actually be able to see that on the 200th episode of the podcast that comes out in a couple of weeks. I had a bag of Israeli Doritos that I found at the supermarket, and boy, were they good.
It did not last the night. Kind of good.
I did not last the whole night. I ate that whole fucking bag.
I prefer hot Cheetos with the extra hot spicy ones and Takis.
I've never had Takis.
Speaking
Takis
of hot
are really
Cheetos,
good.
Classy
he's got 'em.
Ulysses.
Look at
I
that.
got
Let's
some
go.
Flamin' Hot Smoky Ghost Pepper Cheetos. These are so good. And this brings me to my next subject.
Go ahead.
Unless you guys have something to say about the best flavor of potato chip.
I'm trying to think.
Do you have something to say?
The best chips I've ever had are like the homemade kettle chips you get at some like restaurants. Those are really good. I like those a lot.
So
Yeah, but I'm saying the best flavor is salt.
Yeah, well, those are usually just kind of lightly salted chips.
Exactly.
Some of them are made with like some cracked pepper in the frying process that's put on them. That's pretty good too.
So I'll say this. I do agree with the fact that the best flavor is salt because like you can eat them with whatever, you can put them in whatever.
You can eat them with dip. You can eat them without dip. You can eat them with chips, other chips. You can mix them with other chips.
I will say I do
My point
prefer salt flavor, like just a normal flavor, baked specifically, not
Baked
just normal
chips,
chips.
not
Yeah,
fried.
baked. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like baked chips.
That being said, there is, I forgot the exact name of it. There is a Lay's flavor of potato chips that literally, quite literally, I mean, tastes like tomato soup. And it is so goddamn good. It melts in your mouth.
Soup.
It tastes like tomato soup. It is so amazing.
No, if we're talking like favorite Lay's potato chip flavor, then seaweed one is my favorite. I love the seaweed ones. But I can only get that in Asia. I can never get it here.
Can we talk about how these companies, these American companies, will make different flavors of stuff that's really good that you can't get in the fucking America?
There's a reason for that. They're not allowed to.
That's
you mean they're not allowed to?
They're not allowed to. It's a thing.
You can sell green tea Kit Kats in America. There's nothing stopping you.
I forgot exactly why, but like there is a thing in place that doesn't allow them
there's
to.
There's not a high enough ratio of food to preservatives in this food. You can't sell it.
It actually might be.
I understand that there's regional differences in flavors. Like again, a seaweed flavor does really well in Asian countries because a lot of Asian countries like eating seaweed. Yeah. Probably not so much in America, right?
Certain parts of America it'd probably sell well.
For like Canada, for example, they like ketchup in a lot of stuff, and they like dressed up chips, which is like the ketchup, vinegar, whatever thing, barbecue sauce, ranch. So those wouldn't do well in America because for the exact same reason. That's just not a palate that the Americans have. So why would they release it here? Why you don't waste the money?
I get it.
There's a regional policy. Oh, that's kind of weird.
Really? That's really weird, especially considering it's the same company that probably owns all that shit. Like, surely Kit Kat owns all the flavors of Kit Kat.
Yeah, I don't know.
It always just irks me that, like, I've had green tea Kit Kats before. I really like them. I really wish I could get them here.
I get them all the time. What are you talking about?
I'm sure you do because you live somewhere where there's a high Asian population. There's 5 Asians in this whole state, John.
No, I swear okay, you know what? Just because I see a bunch of green tea Kit Kats at the American stores doesn't mean that's not just because there's more Asian people here. You know what? All right, fair. All right.
Anyway, yeah, talk about your ghost pepper because I know you want to talk about the ghost pepper.
I've been wanting to talk about ghost pepper spicy stuff for a while. So I like to eat spicy, right? And recently, there's been a giant boom in adding spicy flavored things, like just in general. Yeah. Ghost pepper flavored and everything is back. You know, spicy nuggets are back. Ghost pepper, everything is back. And like these
the ghost pepper Whopper.
Oh, the ghost pepper Whopper. I had that the other time. It was okay. Ghost pepper Cheetos, like I said, right here. Delicious. Absolutely fucking delicious. I love these things, right? I don't think it's as good as the extra like the black bag extra spicy one.
He's gonna like wave his dick around as he eats this thing on stream.
Not spicy, but I love that. Oh, and I had Wendy's earlier and I had ghost pepper fries, but that's what I was eating earlier in the stream, by the way, ghost pepper fries.
Keep in mind, everyone, when John says not spicy, that's on a him scale. It doesn't compare to more normal
real.
people's scales.
Yes.
If I can't even taste the spice, it's not that spicy.
John, we are built different. You have to remember this. What we
I don't know, man.
taste, no, really, what we can't taste is, oh my god, my mouth is on fire for the rest of them.
Have you ever
have to
considered,
remember
John, that
this.
maybe you have some kind of a genetic deficiency that makes it so you can't really taste spice that much?
No, I used to not be able to eat spice, but my mom, so she would make tomsom. It's like papaya salad.
That
When
sounds
we were
good.
little. It's delicious. It's
I
made
love
with
papaya.
limes and fish sauce, stuff like that, and like palm sugar. It's fucking delicious. But she would make it, and I loved eating it. But she only ate spicy, so she'd only make it spicy. So if I wanted to eat it, I had to eat it spicy. Otherwise, I couldn't eat it. So I would just eat that, and I would cry and like fucking be in tears all the time. So
this
eventually,
is so good.
it is. But it was the only way to eat it because the flavor was, even though it was spicy, the flavors of the somtom was hella good. You know,
That's what I tell a lot of people. Like, I mean, I don't have anywhere near the spice tolerance that John does, but I do
John
like
eats
fried
chilies
spicy
just out the
things.
bag or off the tree. This is true. I
yeah.
have plucked peppers out of growing from the trees and just eaten them.
I tell this to a lot of people. Like, if you can make it past, if you can make it past the like the spice, typically things that are really spicy also have a lot of flavor to them.
No, I remember for a party trick at one of my friend's birthday parties, I ate a jalapeno in front of his family because they just couldn't handle spice.
I can
There was
handle a jalapeno.
there was a jalapeno there for some reason, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll eat the jalapeno instead of the celery. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I can eat the jalapeno. They're like, no way. And so I just like bit the entire jalapeno. I'm like, yeah, it's great.
I can handle a jalapeno pretty easily.
How wild-eyed were they?
Oh, very. They were Persian.
Oh. Yeah, I love the trend of like doing spicy versions of like regular foods, especially like in fast food.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my god. Like it's my dream that all the spicy, because I remember about like 10-15 years ago there was a surge of spicy stuff, right? They started adding ghost peppers to things, but it was only like a limited time run, and after like a couple months they'd go away, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what's caused the resurgence of like love for spice, but
I always assumed it was like hot ones.
Maybe. I remember I think it was Pringles or Lay's like stacks that partnered with Hot Ones. I think it was Pringles actually.
I think it was Pringles.
They had the Hot One chips. I remember I got to try some of those when they were in circulation because my younger brother found them actually and was like, "Do you want to try this, Johnny?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to try it." It was okay. It wasn't that spicy.
But did it taste good? Because like just because it's not spicy don't mean it don't taste good.
No, it tasted great.
That's what I'm more interested in. Like, yeah, if it's not spicy, it's whatever. But is the flavor good? It's like, yeah, give me more. Like KFC had the spicy chicken sandwich. It wasn't super spicy, but it was good.
I think KFC's really fallen off. Have you seen that KFC is doing turkeys now?
Yes,
Wait,
I
what?
have.
Yeah,
What?
you can get Kentucky Fried Turkey now for Thanksgiving. You got to put your order in like a week in advance, though.
Yeah, I saw that. I like. There's a part of me that really wants to try it.
I kind of want to try it too, just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
Bro, I was so upset. Like, you can't have spicy food, and I was like, no, you can't do this to me, dog. Put it back in. Put it back in.
What are you gonna do if you get your gallbladder taken out?
I'm still gonna eat spicy food. My mom has her gallbladder removed, and she still didn't stop eating spicy food. So
I think John would literally rather die before he got
there.
Yeah,
be sitting there eating, and you just grabbing your side, like, "Oh, don't take me to the hospital. This will pass. I promise."
Dude, my don't know, man. I've been eating spice my entire life. I've trained for this, quite literally.
KFT instead of KFC. Yeah, it is. It's KFT, Kentucky Fried Turkey.
Yeah, so I like that there's an addition of it for just spicy stuff. I go to Wingstop and get extra spicy for my note. I didn't know that Wingstop did extra spicy. I don't really like their spicy sauce stuff because it's just really sour. It's not that spicy.
I don't
sour.
like Wingstop, period. I think it's trashy.
Well, I think it's trashy, but I still like Wingstop.
You like it because it's trashy.
Hell yeah, brother. No, the I think it's Cajun. The Cajun dry rub. I think that's one I get all the time. It's just like
Oh,
really,
that one is actually kind of good.
I
I'm
say-
not gonna lie.
it's tasty. It's just tasty.
Can I say, since it was brought up, like with chicken wings in particular, I have gotten to the point where I prefer dry rub chicken wings to like the liquid sauces.
So the
It's
thing
so
is,
much less messy.
because liquid sauces, right? You have to double fry your wings to put a liquid sauce on it so it can still maintain that crunch, and you have to eat it like within 15 minutes of serving, of cooking to really get like the maximum. Because a lot of the with wings, especially when they're fried and stuff like that, double fried, it's that texture that makes it better. If you don't have that texture, you just got soggy wings, then what was the point of frying it in the first place?
Yeah. I don't know. That, for me, I've always found, especially lately, because I've been trying them more often, is that the dry rub has just more flavor to me.
Yeah. I recently turned to dry rub like a couple years ago, really, because I used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'd get their buffalo dry rub because I thought that tasted way better than their actual buffalo wings. Like I know what you're talking about. Like Buffalo Wild Wings is wet buffalo sauce is trash compared to their dry rub buffalo sauce. Why is it different? No idea. It just tastes better when in the dry rub form. It tastes more like buffalo sauce than the actual.
We don't ask these
buffalo
questions,
sauce.
John. You might not want the answer.
It's probably the MSG, to be honest.
They're literally just back there murdering a buffalo for you.
God, I hope so. Freshest food possible.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God, we've been going on for almost 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours.
Oh God, yeah. Let's
I
end it.
really want to hear you talk about VR porn because you wrote it down. I gotta hear your thoughts about this.
Okay, so my wife bought me an Oculus a couple years ago.
This is not how I thought this story would start. With my wife bought me,
and I was like, cool, I can play Beat Saber, I can play The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and play all these VR games. Then eventually, that thought in your mind that always crosses anyone's mind, right? Because it's not just me. Let's be honest, fellas. Whenever you get a new electronical device, the second thing you're gonna do with it is, can this look at porn?
or can I fuck it?
Just, I know. Don't lie to me, bro. I know. I get it. You know, I'm letting you know. So my second thought after playing with all these video games was, I wonder if I can watch porn on this. And then I found out there's actual VR porn.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, what?
It's a whole
Now,
category.
a lot of it is paid. You have to pay like premium services to do the VR porn stuff. But they do let you do trials and stuff like that. And there's some video sites that will just have VR porn on there, but it's not the same. So when you're watching a video in VR, you can have it just tracked like right here. It's in front of you. So wherever you look, you see the window, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. Pretty standard. So it's just like watching porn, but anywhere you move your head, you can just like watch porn. It's like whatever. VR porn itself is immersive because you're like in the room. It's like 3D. So you're like, yo, you know, you're watching the porn where you're first person view where you're the dude, right? And the girl's going down on you. And you're just like looking around. You're like, yo, I can see the room. It's like I'm here.
Do you know that there's also VR porn like that's first person from the woman's perspective too?
Yes, because in one of the preview ones that I ran, it went from like I was preview as the dude, and then it made me preview as the woman. I was like, whoa, hold on.
I did not sign up for this. Wrong hole.
There are some videos I saw that you have to have a VR headset. Actually, JVVR. There's a lot of VR porn. I take your word on it. I only did it the one time. Okay, just because.
Thankfully,
they don't include the porn.
Thankfully, they don't include the porn. That'd be a lot of sweaty bum smells.
Oh god!
Listen, I just had to. I needed to experience it. I needed to see. Okay, Because again, every time I get a new electronic device, the very second thing I do with it is, can this look at porn?
Did you do
Not
that with your
because-
Switch?
Not because I am a sexual deviant, mind you, okay? It is
You're
out
a
of
scientist at heart.
Exactly. It's out
You
of an
need to know if it can
intellectual.
see
No,
porn.
it's
Yeah.
out of an intellectual interest. Okay.
Wait a
An
minute.
academic interest.
Are you saying you're actually part of Melody's science team?
Yes.
Okay. The science team is here.
But yeah, that's the only thing I gotta say about it. I mean, it was kind of okay. Like, it's kind of weird though, because again, I was more fascinated by the fact that it felt like I was in the room. Like,
Like
you know what would make
VR
this
should.
like VR should. The only thing that would make that better is if it had like an auto jacker where you plug it in.
Oh my god!
And it's got like head tracking movement, right?
My dude, have you ever heard of a company called Lovins?
No.
They do this now. They actually allow you to like link up some of their toys with like porn videos.
Holy shit!
Whoa, where it actually like
Amazing.
it's like you're in there.
It's yeah.
Bro, this is a huge
Now I don't
ass
know if
market.
I don't know if they allow you to link it to like a VR headset. They might. I haven't. I haven't. I don't do VR, but
I feel like if Facebook allows third-party companies to develop like Bluetooth enabled auto jackers that can like follow porn, they'll use like the VTubing like rig setup where they can follow the movement trackers of the head. They'll
Yeah.
put that on their actresses, right? And then it would just be like simulate
know-
actual porn. That's like the next level shit.
do you I don't know if you've ever read it, John, but the Ghost in the Shell manga where they show that people, well, specifically women, make a lot of money just basically like letting people jack into them and do like have sex with them that way. We're getting there. We're getting there one step at a time.
Oh,
The
we're slowly
degeneracy.
approaching cyberpunk levels of like, oh man.
I've never
hate
done it. My thing with VR, like I kind of want to try it out, but I wish I could go somewhere and try it out like without having to buy it, because I am so terrified with my shitty eyesight that it won't work for me.
So I do know that there's a couple of companies around here in Washington that are like VR. You can rent out VR headsets. Obviously, you can't go look at porn, but you can play VR games.
Obviously.
Obviously, I would hope not. I wouldn't want to rent those headsets. Maybe on grand opening day, I'll be the first one there. But after that, I don't know.
I was talking with a cousin once about
VR
like,
hentai.
VR hit now. Listen here. I was talking to a cousin once about something similar to this, and we're talking about like VR and using it for sex. And I'm like, well, why would you ever do that? And he's looked at me and said, well, think about it. If two people were really ugly, but they really wanted to have sex, put the headsets on.
Oh,
Then you can just be
God.
whoever you want.
This is just an advanced version of the paper bag trick. Come on, guys.
I know, right? I mean,
I mean,
not
that's
everyone
kinda true,
can
though.
fuck
If
their
you've
like
seen,
their idol, but
Well, so in like the movie, have you guys seen the movie Surrogates?
No.
I haven't. But I know what you're talking about.
I think is it Bruce Willis? I think it's Bruce Willis in it.
I think so.
Maybe Jason Statham. I don't remember. It's
Some
bald guy.
action-oriented actor.
Some action bald guy. Definitely not Vin Diesel though. But I think it's Bruce Willis in Surrogates. But in Surrogates, that's what people do. They are like fat and unhealthy and gross, and they stay in their VR chairs all day, and they buy a surrogate body. So people who actually
Oh,
like,
this. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
have seen this. I
Yeah,
do remember this now.
Surrogates.
You're talking about the plot. I do remember watching this recently.
yeah. So like people legitimately in this future where you can rent out people's bodies. People will like they'll be gross and stuff. And they'll rent out a hot body so they can pretend to be hot. That's something that
yes,
they actually do.
2009. Wow.
Demolition Man. They do this in Demolition Man too.
Yeah.
Well, not specifically the thing they do in Surrogates, but the whole VR sex.
So I mean, eventually, Oculus or Facebook or
Meta.
Meta. Thank you. I was like, they changed their names to other things, but eventually, Meta will open it up to third-party access to do shit like that. And even if they don't, people will find a way. Like I have found plenty of things to do to my my Rift to like do certain things that I'm not supposed to do.
Do you know what the scare? We kind of like talked about this earlier. The scary thing is using this for porn and how good AI is getting with, recreating people and their voices, especially voices. I'm just imagining that there's going to be a time where we have these VR headsets and we have the VR porn and it's AI recreations of someone like you can fuck Markiplier.
Bro, I just see a money printing machine right now.
So what you're saying is I should like patent this right now.
Yeah, good luck with the technology.
Hella legally dubious as well.
Ethically dubious too.
Oh, who cares about ethics?
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here running through my mind with this and I'm thinking, okay, I might not want to fuck Markiplier, or maybe I do. I don't know. But there's always Hosho Marin.
Oh my god.
You could fuck your anime girls finally. Anime girls will finally be real. You can finally have sex with them.
Yes. I mean, they're half real now. They're VTubers.
I think there's a huge market for it for sure. But I think that a lot of companies who own the technologies for VR technologies are not open to that market. Not yet, at least.
Not yet.
Show them a couple of zeros and they'll be open for it.
But if you look at the history of technologies, do you know most technologies, especially in the last half century or 75 years, the only reason they got big is because porn adapted to them. Like the only reason VHS took off over Betamax is because it's what porn went to. Like literally the porn industry said, no, we're not going with Betamax, we're going with VHS. And that's why everyone switched to VHS.
I wouldn't say that's the only reason, but it is kind of big. Yeah.
VHS is also easier to produce.
The only reason Overwatch is still even remotely relevant is because of the porn. Same thing for like League of Legends.
The only reason that we have like so much animated porn now is because of
BioShock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literal industries were made just because of BioShock porn.
Yeah. So I think that, see, in my mind, I'm thinking if I was to develop an auto jacker that, could connect to your VR headset, you can actually connect your VR headset to your computer and you can you can Bluetooth your auto jacker into your PC. So I would just have to run a program on your PC to do that. Then I can sell ad data. So I'm double dipping here to make I'm thinking like a programmer. I'm trying to like, oh man, maybe if I do this, see you next year when I'm a millionaire from, selling the Auto Jacker 9000.
Rule 34 does got you covered though. Oh man. Yeah. Also, this last thing you wrote down here is very, very true.
Oh yeah. I was just sitting there one day at work and I'm like, hey, I could apply for a new $15,000 credit card or whatever. And it's like, it's just one click away. And it just made me it got me thinking, every bad decision is one click away while any good decision takes time to pay off.
Yep.
So I've recently started going back to the gym and I'm like, yeah. But, going back to the gym, it's really hard to not look at the scale because especially if you're trying to lose weight, but it's more about how you feel.
Yeah.
But it takes months for you to start feeling any better, to even notice anything, really. It takes months. Like literally, you have to go to the gym every day for 3 to 4 months before you even see a slight change in your body figure or how you feel. Because
you got to do it gradually too. Because if you do it all at once, your body is going to be like, no.
Yeah, it takes a long time for that to pay off. And that's just the beginning of it, right? And after that, it'll take another freaking year of diet and exercise to even get to any like remote shape of like if I wanted to look good or anything like that. But if I wanted to just, go eat 5 Big Macs, I could just do it. I could literally order it and just do it.
You can have it at your house probably in like 15, 20 minutes.
It's so easy to do bad decisions. Everything is predicated on that online and stuff like that. And too, to make bad decisions. Like, spending a shit ton of money in a video game for something stupid. Like right now, Apex Legends has their Post Malone collection event. And I was about to drop like $50 to go get the Post Malone costume stuff, because one of the guns it comes with is really fucking cool. I think it's really cool. I just want the gun. I don't want anything else. So I would love to pay just like $10 for just the gun, but I've got to pay like $30 for everything, which is kind of dumb. But yeah, it's literally for me 2 clicks away, because Steam, I have my Apex link through Steam, and Steam already has my PayPal information saved. So I literally just click once, click twice, paid, done. I get it.
It's amazing to me how bad a lot of people are with money, though. Like
Because
they see
most
credit,
people haven't
they
ever learned discipline. That's why.
they see a credit limit and they think I got to hit that every month. No.
Well, because using credit is like, it's future money, right? You're like, okay, well, I can pay this off, and sure you can, buddy.
I mean, I think I talked about this on the last WTF we did, but I had a hospital bill that I recently got. It was like $3,500, somewhere in that range. Wasn't expecting it, but I can put it on my credit card and use the points I get on the credit card to help pay it off.
Yeah. I think financial literacy is something that people really should learn. But again, there's a reason why it's not being taught. And it's because people having financial literacy would literally bankrupt a bunch of different companies.
Can I just, I really, maybe this is getting a little too political, but I wish in like public schools, they brought back home economics.
I'm sorry. My wife is an accountant, and me preaching financial literacy, she's just like,
I got to get on here. I got to get on here. Let me talk to them right now. I will say, if you join our Discord server, she will 100% give you financial advice, even if you don't ask for it.
Yeah, she's really good at her job, and she doesn't stop ever.
I forget what was I saying?
It's
all gone now.
Home ec. You wanted?
Oh yeah,
because
like I really wish that like public schools would bring back home economics, because I think it's desperately needed. Like people don't.
I learned how to sew. I learned how to like cook eggs, and
but it's not everywhere.
Cobbler. I learned how to bake
not...
a peach cobbler, bro.
Peach cobbler is delicious, by the way.
It is delicious.
Cobbler in general is delicious. Doesn't matter what you put in it.
I mean, I've had this conversation with one of my coworkers before, where I'm like, I think that there's certain life skills that people need to learn. I think people need to learn how to fish, how to gut a fish, cook a fish, how to make like fishing lines, stuff like that, how to build a fire. You know.
Hey, John, we're polluting the oceans as best as we can.
Yeah,
they're going to be more microplastics than fish at some point. People won't need to learn that anymore.
I'm saying, I think that there are certain life skills that are very valuable.
No, I agree.
I
do agree on that,
because I'm not saying that I prepare for a lot of things. Like, what if my car just breaks down or I fall off the cliff of a mountain or something? I get stranded in the mountain. I don't prepare for stuff like that. I'm not saying I do that. I do. But I'm not saying everyone has to, but I think it would be smart for people to learn just basic survival life skills.
Or just basic everyday skills too. Like how to sew a button on, how to tie a tie, how to do all learn different knots. Those are really valuable. You don't think they are, but learn how to tie different knots.
That's one thing that I'm learning right now, is how to tie different knots. And it's like blowing my mind. I'm like, there are so many better knots than the one knot I know how to tie.
Yeah.
Why are you learning how to tie different knots?
Because he's going to hang you from a tree.
I mean,
I know how to do a hangman's knot. Why? That one's super. A hangman's knot is so easy to do.
It's the first one I learned how to do when I was learning how to tie rope.
A hangman's knot is really good for fishing line too.
Cooking basic foods, like you said, you learn how to cook a peach cobbler or whatever,
fry eggs, peach cobbler.
Because I'm glad that you got that in school. Not everyone does, and very clearly, because most people my age and younger barely cook.
I think it depends on where you live at, because I know in Utah, there's a bunch of like home ec classes like that.
That's the Mormons.
That's more of like training women to be traditional wives, but that's
the Mormons teach you how to live that traditional life, man.
Yeah. There's a cooking class in high school that I used to go. Yeah. I used to have a cooking class in high school as well, but the teacher that was teaching it didn't really teach us how to cook, and we just basically watched movies all the time.
Wow.
I'm a wife. Yes, you are a wife.
You are a waifu, yeah.
if you can't get a wife, you become a wife.
Become the wife. And also, John, you mentioned something like having those basic skills. It's nice, but also the financial literacy to have a little bit of money stored in reserve in case something does happen.
They're just valuable skills that I think everyone should learn. Financial literacy, life
balance
skills,
a checkbook. Learn how to.
No, I will
take
say
out loans.
I was part of a financial literacy like program in my middle school, junior achievement. So I did get that type of stuff, which is why like I'm better with it because of that. So I have firsthand experience of this.
It wasn't in a home ec course, but in one of the math courses I took in high school, one of the like long-term semester-long projects that we had is at the beginning of the semester, the teacher went through all of us and it's like, so what do you want to be when you grow up? And he would say whatever we said, electrician, plumber, whatever. He would look up what the base salary would be for something like that job, and he would say, okay, you're getting this much every month. Here's a checkbook for you. Here's all your expenses you have to make sure it's balanced at the end of every month.
Yeah, that's what the program that was in junior achievement, that's what they did. You show up, you get a random like job, and then you have to learn how to balance it.
Yeah.
And they really liked me because I was like, you know what? I don't need a car. I'll take the bus. I thought outside of I thought like a poor person. I grew up poor. And they were very impressed with my poor person thinking about, wow, this kid gets it. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when you're fucking
some
poor.
of the most resourceful people you'll ever meet are people who grew up poor.
Yeah, because you don't have resources to fucking afford a car and insurance. Because like, why would I pay for $300 for a car and $100 for insurance when I can save $400 a month by this? Because I believe my scenario was $35,000 a year, and I had a wife and 2 kids. And I had to make that work, and I was like, fuck. So I really thought outside the box to like make this budget work.
I will say one of the things that wasn't covered in that class or that like lesson that the teacher did with making us do our own checkbooks was never factored in like marriage or kids. It was all like we were living on our own.
I feel like it's a learning experience. So
yeah,
I mean,
Shinoda's just gone.
I'm just stretching my legs.
Oh yeah, we've been at this for 3 hours.
Yeah, we should probably
go. I got other things to do.
Speaking of intermissions.
Speaking of intermissions.
All right. Well, yeah, I think that we'll go ahead and end it there. I thank you everyone who stopped by our WTF this month. Sorry we haven't had it for the last 2 months. I hope this longer one has made up for it. And hopefully we can get Natai back on the podcast regularly. That is definitely dependent on what happens in the region of the world he lives in, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, thank you everyone for dropping by to watch us. Thank you everyone who watches this after the fact on Monday when it goes out next week. Also, whether you're watching this now or on Monday, happy Veterans Day. For everyone who lives in the United States, it's Veterans Day weekend this weekend. Thank you to everyone who has served. I know a lot of people in my family have. I appreciate all of you that have as well. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below if you like what you see here and want to see more. Also, check down below where you can find links to Anime Club After Dark on Discord, on Twitter, on TikTok, all that good stuff. And until next time, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you then. Say goodnight, guys.
I was wondering why we had the Fen salute emote down there this entire time.
Yeah. I'm glad you finally realized it. It's Veterans Day weekend.
Yeah.
Happy Veterans Day. Thanks for serving, everyone. We really appreciate everything you've done.
Yep. All right. Bye. We're out. Bye.